Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with session 11 of Adventures in Middle-earth. Uh, yes, we're very excited to be able to jump into it. Last session, a lot of crazy shenanigans happened, and now we're jumping into a middle of, potentially a intense battle. Um, but let's go ahead and first, before we do anything, go ahead as usual and introduce our players that we have. Let's go ahead and start with Valineth.
Hello everyone, I am Dain or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Valineth, son of Morbith, and he is a high elf from Rivendell. And he is the scholar of the group. He provides the heals, but currently he also uses a bow, so we'll see how it serves him in the shenanigans that's about to ensue in this stream today.
Yeah, absolutely. Next player is Theodric.
Hey everybody, I'm that tubby Australian. I play Theodric Grimborn. The Rohan Slayer is kind of the naive baby of the group, but he's happy to help and lend his sword arm to the cause.
Perfect. And then we have Jalen.
Hello, my name is SpiderFan33. I play Jalen, the human warden from the Breelands. She is the main character. This has been confirmed by canon.
And finally, we have the first supporting character, Feanor.
Hey guys, I'm Nick or Lavacrest in the chat. I play Feanor the Luctuin, the mysterious Mirkwood elf who is trying to fight back against the shadow.
Perfect. Yeah, and I am Kyle. I am the lore master here. I decide whatever the fates happen, or fate decides, but I roll for fate. And so we'll see what ends up happening here. But before we jump headfirst into this crazy combat, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a recap of the events up until this point. And so the adventuring party that we have, consisting of a ragtag group of individuals, they all met for one reason or another in the city of Dale, meeting for the gathering of the five armies and trying to figure out answers based off of their backstories of what's going on. But they did end up meeting out of some friendly competition and eventually becoming a party as they all sat together at essentially the giant table, the giant table in the Palace of Dale under King Bard, but also competing in the melee together. They spent a little bit of a holiday in Dale, to where they did various things from helping the people out, kind of making a name for themselves, Valineth looking for his lost Vambrace, until one fateful day in late February, they ran into a familiar looking girl by the name of Brindle. And that kind of brings us to last session. So in last session of Adventures in Middle-earth, the party of adventurers, consisting of our four heroes, found themselves in the park in the Commons, meeting with an urchin girl named Brindle. The purpose of this meeting was to exchange a bag of useful items with Brindle, who would take it back to her boss, Finnar. However, the true objective was for the party to learn more about Brindle's situation under Finnar's control and the location of Finnar's hideout. The meeting quickly took an amusing turn when Valineth confronted one of Brindle's companions in the form of an entertaining yet somewhat awkward dance to distract the boy who was seen watching the exchange. In the midst of the merriment, Brindle used the distraction as a chance to spill out all the information about her and her companion's plight to Jalen, relaying information to her about the unfair and violent treatment that Finnar assaults the company of urchins with every day. But with a keen eye, Theodric discovered that Finnar himself appeared on the scene, and Arn and Brindle fled into the heart of Dale. Realizing that they were being watched, the party decided to follow Brindle and her companions back to their hideout in Brokenstone in the slums of Dale. Deciding their path through the empty and cold streets of Dale, the party had to use all of their skills to pick up the trail of Brindle and her companion Arn. Finally arriving at the entrance of Brokenstone, the party prepped to confront Finnar as soon as they found his location. After triangulating the relative location of the hideout with Valineth's knowledge of the area and the information from Brindle, the party of adventurers continued their pursuit of Brindle and her companions to Finnar's hideout, hidden in the back of a property which was a converted tavern in Brokenstone. and it was at this location that the party laid in wait for Brindle and the group of urchins to return. As each member returned, the party learned more about the plight under Finnar's command. The tensions built as the party narrowly avoided being discovered a few times by Brindle's companions. Finally, Finnar himself returned with the party, and the party sprang into action. Jalen snuck in through the back window and discovered a taste of Finnar's evil ways, not only hearing firsthand how he treated each of the members, but also seeing Olaf's waning body in serious condition on the bed. Finnar explained his attempts of luring the party off their trail and praising Brindle for a job well done, seemingly swindling the party out of valuable goods and resources. But the party couldn't wait any longer, and Valineth burst through the front door of the hideout, immediately engaging in battle with Arn and Gunnar. And so that's where we're gonna go ahead and leave off. And actually, the only ones who have rolled for initiative thus far were those three. And so combat has started, but it hasn't necessarily... no, we don't have happy chatter going on here. I need a battle music. There we go. Awesome.
I mean, we could have happy chatter.
That's
fine.
true. Just happy chatter.
I hope that's what comes of this.
Yeah, exactly. And so that brings us to the top of combat, in which case both Arn and Gunnar, they confront Valineth as he bursts through the door, bow in hand. If I recall saying, "There's someone who needs healing."
Yes, exactly like that. With bow in hand, he donkey kicked the door as well.
That's true. With a nat 20. That thing was thrown off its hinges, and the two of them came up and confronted and say, "Boss, what do we do?" And immediately they are going to, because I believe you rolled a 12 on your last initiative, which I have written down here, and they rolled higher. So they're going to go ahead and begin their combat. And so they hurriedly make their way up and engage. Fortunately, only Arn has his weapon ready and drawn, where basically Gunnar has a bow, and that's all that he currently has on him at the moment. So his attacks are going to be at disadvantage from this close distance as he basically attempts to plug you up in the doorway. Yes, and so first we're going to go ahead and have Arn make his attack roll. So
Valineth is, as this is happening, he sees it coming, he's just like, Wait, there's a sick man here, isn't there? And he's trying his best to like talk as much as he can. I'm assuming I'm still gonna get shanked.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh my lord, I'm so bad at that though. Why can't it be freaking Jalen doing
That's why it'll
this?
be more amazing if you succeed.
I know. All right.
I mean,
Persuasion?
last session, Jalen did like burst through her own door and say her own thing, but we're gonna get to that, I assume.
We will get to that.
It's a 4.
A 4.
It's a 4.
You say that, and without a second word, Arn, he is thrusting his knife at you. He got a 13. Is that going to hit?
Yeah. Without my van brace, that hits.
Yes, and so he does so. He's going to go ahead and take his knife and attempts to jam it into you. And he deals 3 points of slashing or piercing damage as he just shanks you in the doorway. Just and you kind of stand kind of firm. The next one, he's going to go ahead and his attack is going to be made actually at disadvantage, to which he gets a 12. Does that hit?
No, it does not hit.
All
Thank
right.
goodness.
And so the 12, he's able to kind of knock his bow, but he's not able to quite direct it in the chaos to get his shot off. Which then brings us to you, Valineth. What are you attempting to do in this moment?
Well, Valineth just getting shanked, I mean, just by the force of it, I think he's going to stumble back a little bit towards it. 'Cause he's not expecting, like, a fight or any... I mean, I guess he kind of...
So one thing that you can do, you are in combat, you can attempt to disengage, which will essentially provoke opportunity attacks.
Yeah, provoke opportunity attacks. Well, I mean, what he's going to do is, he's going to call out to his companions, as well as everyone else in here, and he's going to say, "Your quarrel is not with me, gentlemen. We're here to help." And he's going to basically do his best to move away. We're still in combat, but move away from the door so that Theodric can get in. if he wants to.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So the way that this works is in order to move away 5 feet. So essentially, there's a wall here.
Okay.
So there's a wall here, a person here, a person here. You can't squeeze through here, so your only choice is backpedaling out, and that would require you to move 5 feet away from them.
Okay. He's gonna do that.
Okay. So first opportunity attack is going to be by Arn, which is going to not hit. I'm assuming an 8 is not going to hit, as he just misses you as you start backstepping away. The second one is going to go ahead and fire his shot at you. This attack is at disadvantage. And he got a 12 again,
That does
just
not hit, thank
narrowly
goodness.
missing. So you can go ahead and move back as much as you
He's
want.
going to move back, and he's actually going to see Theodric. He's like, I tried. I don't have a silver tongue, and he's actually going to go just, like, literally stand behind Theodric. and that's what he's going to do. And then with his action, he still has an action, right? That he can...
Sorry, it got when Valnith moves there, Fainal's like, I would move if I was you, standing directly above him.
Yes.
like,
How
ready to jump down.
how far are you moving, by the way?
He's basically going right behind Theodric. I would say maybe, what is that, 15 feet? 15 feet?
Yeah, about 15 feet this
Yeah,
way.
15 feet. He's going to go right there. And then with his action, does using like an herb, is that an action or is that a bonus action?
That's a bonus action, actually.
Can I not do it since I bonus action?
Yes, you already disengaged. But I would say, because an action is an action, I'll say you can also use it as an action. Either or.
Yeah, just to be safe, he's gonna use one of his Athelis.
You are very
Playlist.
squishy.
Well, I actually am not squishy, but I didn't heal up. I didn't use my healing dice. Wasn't expecting combat. Do I get anything bonuses based off of this? Give me a second. You can move on. I'll roll the damage and stuff.
Perfect. And with that being the case, I believe, Jalen, are you announcing yourself? So essentially, that's the round of combat. Whoever wants to announce themselves, feel free to do what they can to join combat. Combat has very clearly started as this doorway has begun being blocked off. Feanor, you are on the roof. That's why.
Yeah, but Fainal's just gonna wants to drop down like into the door.
Okay. You do so.
Yeah.
First, do you want to communicate at all with Theodric about this, or are you just gonna do it automatically without him having the chance to move?
I'm
You know,
assuming Valnith's not looking up, and Valnith has no clue. Vanor's right above
Watch
him.
your head.
Oh, my
Theodric,
goodness.
watch out! Just like drops down.
Good sir.
So this is about 10-foot drop. So I'm gonna have you make a dexterity saving throw as you do so, with advantage. Fortunately, being a slayer, so that's fun.
21.
21. Oh yeah, you do so with ease, and you just plop down.
Just like a superhero landing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But I've got my sword and shield.
Okay, sword and
So-
shield.
Theodric, we don't want to hurt them too bad, but if we've got to, you got my back.
Of course.
And then you hear Arn.
Onward!
Arn
And
says,
Valnith's like, I got your back too.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
I can't
have
see behind all that man.
Feanor and Theodric. I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okie dokie. My initiative is...
I got
That
an
is a 5.
I got an unnatural 20.
All right.
Theodric
Very ready.
pulling his weight.
And I also announce some like present.
Perfect. Absolutely. How do you want to do that?
Yeah, so I just go in there, just shove open the door. Now, hold on a minute. Like sword and shield up. I will point my sword towards Fina and just say to the other. I won't be able to see Fina from here. Would I?
Yes, I'm actually removing the characters from here because you don't technically know exactly where
Okay.
they're at.
Last session we did hear him though. So
You
maybe
did
we're
hear him.
able
He is
to-
in
We know he's
inside
over
the house.
that side of the house.
We
Mhm.
know he's in here somewhere. Okay. So I'll just turn to those two and say, we have no quarrel with yous. We only want Fina.
Oi! Who are you? And they look kind of like worriedly at you as Gunnar, he turns around and he has his
We will
bow
not
raised.
hesitate.
He has his bow
We are
raised
here
and.
for Fina. If you stand in our way, you will be put down.
Oi, boss, what do we do? What do we do? And you hear a voice coming from a room directly to the. Technically, he's turned
Don't
your
look at
way
him.
to
Don't
his
look
right.
at him. He can't help you here. He cannot help you. Look at me. He can't help you here. We are going to take him in one way or another.
I'm going to have the
But
two
we
of
have
you
no
make.
wish to hurt you.
I'm gonna have the two of you make contested persuasion checks for me.
Ooh. Love this. Okay, I do have my king's.
Yeah, so you can re-roll and take the
king's stuff
second.
activated. Persuasion.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, I got a dirty 20.
Yeah, he got a 13. Gunnar, he turns around and he looks at you and says, "What have you done with Olaf?" And he looks at your sword to examine it as if it is bloody by any means, and he notices that it is not.
Clean. I cleaned it like an hour ago.
Perfect.
Gleaming in the winter twilight.
What is
Were you
going
doing
on
that?
here?
I was gonna say, were you doing that while we were waiting for Feanor inside the house?
Yeah, really.
Maybe.
And I'm going to have you,
Hubris
Jalen.
is ready.
I'm going to have you, Jalen, go ahead and roll for initiative.
Heck yes. Okay, select computer. Oh, that's not bad. 15.
15. I like it. All right, so there's going to be a special thing that each of you can do before going into combat. And so you can attempt to basically use an action to attempt to persuade them against doing. And essentially the way that I have this set up is as long as Finar's in the room or in the general area within a certain distance, he can actually contest that. If you succeed 3 times before he succeeds on each person 3 times, you have successfully turned them against you. Or you can go in and attempt to do combat as normal against them. So, and you can do different checks based off of the way that you wish to roleplay that. And so you can either roleplay it with intimidation, you can do it with persuasion, you can do it by, I will even allow like going in there and doing attacks and like showing like, look how much stronger I am than you, things like that. However you want to do that, feel free, but I'm going to allow you to have that as an action, and it's always going to be contested by Finar as long as he is within the range of his guys to do so. Cool.
I have a quick question,
Mm.
just clarification. So I do have like a medicine check. What would that go towards? Like, what would I roll for a medicine check? Sorry, this is just like
Yeah. A medicine check is basically getting people up. So if you want to assist to help them if they are on the ground dying,
Okay. All right.
that's one
I
way
was
to be able
wondering
to
because
help
I'm
them.
like, I have these heals, but I don't know what the medicine check does. Sorry.
Perfect.
That aside.
Yep, awesome. And so what that is going to be is it brings us to the top of the round, which is actually Feanor.
Okay, cool. Feanor's going to like step into the room and be like, "Come on, lads, do you really want to take it up with someone who fought against Elstand in the Festival of the Five Armies? Is that really something you want to do? Because he's right behind me."
Are you attempting an intimidation?
Yeah, why not?
All right, go ahead and make an intimidation check. So you're doing it to both of them. And so I'm going to have you go ahead and do that.
I got a 12 and a 5.
Okay. And so for the first one, so you turn and you see oh boy, I have to remember Arn with the dagger as you turn in, and he says, "Yeah, right, likely story. You see, this dagger has not seen blood in a while. Don't make it be the first one," as he starts or don't make you be the second one as he wipes his dagger off from Mr. Shank. And actually, he does not seem to be phased at all by the things that you say. Gunnar as well. He actually backs up a little bit into the room. If you want to make a he's going to attempt to disengage as he kind of makes his way into the next room. If you want to attempt an attack on him, you can. As he does so, you hear kind of like a deep chuckling. It's like, do you really believe the likes of them? And you hear coming from this room, the voice of Finnar echoing
Can
out.
I attempt to grapple him as he's moving away?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead and make a contested athletics check.
I don't think I've ever heard of grappling in D&D being used, so that's cool.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you'll get him. Yeah, you basically grab him as he attempts to
Where do you
move
think
into the
you're
other
going,
room.
lad? I thought
Oi!
you wanted to fight.
Let go of me! I said let go! And he has like his bow, and he's like kind of like reaching for something on his belt, but you've got him like clearly like kind of like bear hugging him as he's just like he's just like trying to fight free. Yeah.
Can I then also, even though this will probably invoke an attack of opportunity, push 5 feet further into the room?
Yes, actually.
Will this invoke attack of opportunity? Because I'm still within the distance of, the guy with the dagger, or no?
So technically, you will be, if you move 5 feet,
I'd
let's
be
just
the-
say that you've grabbed him. You've taked him and you've pushed him 5 feet. So you'll basically be pushing him here.
Yeah,
You can move
that's
5
more or
feet
less
into
what
the
I-
room.
that's more or
You
less what I
actually
would-
get out of range, and so that will provoke an
That's fine.
opportunity attack.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does he have cover though? Because he's got a dude in front of him.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's the
Mm.
guy's on the other side of me. This guy's going to try and stab me in the back. So
That's true. Yeah, never mind. Well,
Well, he
Okay.
makes his roll, and that is going to be an 8. So I'm assuming that is not hitting. As he just kind
what
of
do you
like
think
goes
you're doing
stabs.
back there? What? Can't you see your friends in enough trouble as it is?
Oi, you'll be in trouble soon enough. Hey! And then he calls out, he says, Vidar, block the door! And immediately coming into play, and you actually look inside the room before the vision is blocked, and you see everybody lined up as such. Great. And that brings us to Jalen, your turn.
I think I'm gonna try yelling again because that worked so well last time.
Okay, absolutely.
Mom is persuasion. You got
So who are you trying to persuade? Both of them, either or?
Probably more directed towards the one who's eyeing off my sword. What I want to do is like turn behind me and go, Olaf, let him know you're okay and I didn't hurt you or anything.
Is that the guy I've got grappled? That
Olaf is the guy who
Is in bed.
no,
He's
no.
the sick dude.
Is the guy you're talking to the one that I'm grappling?
I have no idea.
So there's the guy that you're grappling, and then there's the guy who's been trying to stab everyone, which is Arn, and kind of in this top area.
The guy I danced with had the sweet two-step with.
Yeah, that's Arn.
Yeah.
Olaf, it takes him a second. I'm gonna have you make a persuasion check with Olaf. I will say that you've officially already succeeded once with Olaf. FYI.
Yeah.
So.
Olaf and I are tight.
or in the process.
Alright. What do we got? 19.
19. All right.
Yeah. Next one will be 18, just you watch.
1 second. And sorry, I'm just calculating all of these things. So I'm gonna say you're shouting towards Arn, as basically this Gunnar, who's the bowman, is very under wraps at this moment, and so you're shouting to Arn as he attempts to shank, and you hear, "Oi! Stop listening to him!" And you can sense a small sense of worry in the voice of Finnar from the other room, as actually at this point Arn hesitates. But he sees, and it's like just barely you've caught his grip. Just barely. Yeah. And with that, is that going to be your turn? Do you want to move or do anything of the sort at all?
Yeah, I can't really see.
I mean, he could
I
move
might
into the room.
move. Yeah. Can I? I should probably move into the room. Hang on, let me plug my mouse in. That might make things easier. Yeah, I'm just gonna move into the room. Hang on.
Perfect.
If I move like over into that corner, is that okay?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you go ahead and you move 10 feet. As you do so, though, you get an opportunity attack from Olaf as he takes his club for a second, and he's going to be actually rolling this because he is laying somewhat in bed at disadvantage.
Freaking Olaf! Come on now.
Olaf? Bro, I thought we were homies.
At disadvantage,
bro.
at disadvantage, he rolls a 16.
Oh! Oh,
It was good. It wasn't a natural 20, but
Disadvantage?
yeah. But yeah, he goes ahead and he bonks a little bit.
That will hit me.
Okay, I kind of assumed. And that is going to be for maximum damage at 6 points. As
might
he
as
just
well have been a nat 20.
boom bonks you on your way out the door. He's and as he kind of almost pushes you, and you kind of regather yourself in the corner. But then you can just hear like kind of like gagging, like not gagging, but like coughing, like and you hear like a thud as he falls back into bed, and it just says. You can tell that he is very unsure at this moment of what's going on. And you could tell in the intensity of this battle, it was kind of just an instinct of something that he did.
Ah, right. Yeah,
So.
yeah. Okay. My fault. I should have moved. How much damage was that?
That's going to be 6 points of damage, of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Oh,
Okay.
Jalen, was there someone in there? Why are you turning your back to them?
Sorry, I thought he was cool, man. I thought he was cool.
Oh, he was chill?
Anyway,
Arn, so next in line is actually going to be these basically urchins. And so following the commands of Finar, Arn is going to go ahead and move, or not Arn, Vidar is going to go ahead and move up. He has a shield in front of him and he has a sword out. And he immediately blocks your view, meaning the two of them are going to no longer be in sight of you anymore. As he kind of clogs up the doorway. If you want to go ahead and take a peek, I'll allow you to do a bonus action to try to peek around. But that's kind of what's going to be going on there. And Arn, he's going to go ahead and make his attack, or he's going to go ahead and move in. He's going to go ahead and move in behind Feanor.
Really, lads? Is this what you want to be doing?
Ugh. We're just following orders. You have no idea what he's like. And then you hear just kind of like a soft chuckle from the other room. As, excuse me, Arn is going to go ahead and make his attack. His attack is going to be made at advantage as you are currently grappling, grappling Gunnar. So, this attack is going to be at an advantage. I still don't think this will hit. Is that a 13 going to hit?
God, no.
Yeah.
Not
and
even
so,
close.
boom, and he basically hits, and like you take one arm and just, like one hand and just like block it out of the way, and you hear him
And
kind of
just with my
grumble.
shield, I just like kind of.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And as you just kind of have in like one arm, grappled with like your sword in your hand, Gunnar. He's going to attempt to break free though, so go ahead and make a contested athletics check with him.
Has he just moved into my attack range or no?
He has not. No, you'll have to move 5 feet to do so.
Well, I rolled a nat 1.
Well, he got a natural 19 and he rolled 2 of those. So, he is going to break free from your grasp and he is going to turn around. Yeah, he seems quite concerned with you, Feanor, and he's going to attempt... Well, I guess that was his action, so he's not going to do anything.
Come on, I thought we were finally getting to know each other a little bit better.
Oi. You're the ones who are invading our home! And they, all of a sudden you
the
hear...
ones who let him leave? Yes.
And Olaf, you hear him just like... "Ugh," just kind of like groaning, still hurting from his last attack that he did. Very, very much hurting, actually, from the last attack that he
Yeah,
just did.
that was quite the wallop.
Great. Which then brings us to Valinith.
So quick question. I'm looking at this map. Do you mind if I broadcast my mouse?
Please do so. Yeah, absolutely.
So right here, is this a window?
That is a window, and it is a closed window.
Okay, so it's not like a glass window.
It's not a glass window, so it has wooden shutters, and you noticed it. All of you, I would say, noticed it when you first arrived here. It has wooden shutters. You have not tried to open them or do anything of the sorts with them. So you have no idea if they're locked or anything.
What's the house made out of again? Is it just a stone house?
It's basically like a Tudor house, so it's made out of like clay.
Okay.
So
Just Kool-Aid man it through the wall.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
That is what I wanted to do.
Valnith is actually going to be look and see the situation, understanding that he's not really going to be able to do anything with that crowded room, and he doesn't really want to shoot anyone right now, at least right now, being the good guy that he is. He's
You've
actually
been
going to.
shanked.
I know he's definitely been shanked.
You're allowed to shank people back with an arrow.
I
at this
know.
by the way,
Arr!
how much did you heal, Valinith?
I healed 3 damage.
All right, so back to
Solid
7.
3 HP. But I mean, Valnith's just like he had a great like 2-step with Arn, and he still feels like he could reach him at some point.
Oh, by the way, Theodric and Jalen, what are your current HP totals?
I think I've healed back to full.
Okay, so 18, and
So
Jalen,
back to
what are
18.
you at? 2. Okay.
Whoo! Jalen, that was a big bonk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
roll big bunk.
We didn't decide whether we like used any.
I'll allow you
abilities, so
to use it if, because I'm pretty sure everyone used it, and I know Dane specifically said he
I
wasn't using it.
I mean, I
wasn't
really don't know. Okay.
I feel like you did.
Go ahead and roll one dice and add that to your total.
I know for a
Okay.
fact that I did do it because I am at almost full health, which
Right.
I wouldn't have been.
I know I
at
rolled.
Which is what right now, Feanor?
24.
Ugh.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Dane was the only one who specifically said I am not using it. So
I don't know.
I
Okay.
regret that.
Well, then
Theodric
it's,
watches a little like
uh,
elf jump down, grab a dude, just sprint into a
Yeah.
room completely surrounded by enemies. It's like, are you
Well,
with
that
me?
takes me to
Yeah.
5 then.
Shoot.
you're at what?
5.
5. Okay, a little bit better.
That-
Definitely better. Awesome. And so
Anyways,
you
so-
find yourself in the corner in Valinith. Yeah, go ahead. You
Yeah,
can
so Valinith-
drag your character wherever you want to, by the way.
Okay, perfect. He is going to move himself over to the window sneakily. He's not going to be. He's going to be very sneaky about it. I'm a little bit more, right underneath the window. And he's going to try it. He's going to see if it's open at all, if it's locked.
Okay.
Like very slightly. He doesn't want to make a ruckus about anything.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you make a stealth check as you attempt to do this.
Not good. Actually, I'm okay at stealth. Oh, freaking sick! 18.
18. Yeah, you are quiet as you just barely attempt to shake the shutters a little bit. There aren't really handles from the outside, so you kind of have to like grasp onto some of the wooden frame, and you begin pulling and pushing a little bit. Not enough to make any kind of noticeable shake, but these seem firmly shut. Seems like it is locked from the inside.
Okay. Well, with the rest of my movement, I mean, we can't see, but around this side of the house, do we happen to know if there are any other like windows?
There
of
are no
any
windows.
sort?
Yeah, so you basically there's a building that's right here next to it.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere else for like to be able to really jump out.
And then it was the alley further along. Like
Yes, and
past
so
that
like an
as well,
alley up
yeah.
this way.
All right. I'm gonna move another 15 feet back to my spot, and that should be my max 30 feet of where I was. And he's going to. Is that Arn in the doorway with the knife?
That is Arn in the doorway, yes.
Okay, so Valnitz is going to attempt to make a shot at the knife. He's not going to make a shot at.
Oh,
Arn
a cold
itself.
shot. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
So he
It's
doesn't want
trick
to shoot
shotting
it.
right here.
Yeah. I
Like-
mean, he was the archer winner, archer competition winner.
Can't wait for this to be a nat one that just
I
nails
know.
on in the eye and kills
Oh
him.
lord.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack action for me.
All right. Oh boy, it's been a while. It's been a while. So, is this at a disadvantage or anything since I'm rolling a called shot, or?
No. So essentially, the way that I'm doing it is the AC for the call shot
higher.
increases, and so essentially, if you hit his AC, you still hit him. But if you hit the higher, like the AC or higher, then you hit the dagger out of his hand.
6.
6. You just miss altogether.
That's probably better.
Yeah. Your shot goes pew, and it hits against, and the arrow shatters against the door frame.
And he calls.
That was a warning shot.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's gonna call out. He's gonna be like, "Arn, drop the dagger. Didn't we have a great time together with our two-step? Think some sense into you, young boy."
Because you already used your action, I'm gonna say that doesn't count as your convincing.
No. I'm not. He's just saying that.
Okay.
As he's shooting.
And he's gonna you just hear kind of like a grumble as he seems very preoccupied at the moment. But that does bring us to Theodric.
Theodric, I thought you said you had my back. Where are you? I seem to be surrounded.
Okay, so these walls are made of clay. They're very sturdy, yes?
Yeah, very, very sturdy.
Okay, so no Kool-Aid Manning through the wall, unfortunately.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was planning on it. I am just going to move into the doorway.
Okay.
Right behind Arn, was it?
Yes.
And I guess I will try to talk them down.
Okay.
If everyone else is, and if this doesn't work, I'm switching straight to combat.
Speak for yourself. Valiant tried to
Just
shoot
hit them
a
with
knife.
the flat of your the flat of your blade. It only
Yeah.
bruises and
But no,
bludgeons.
Theodric walks into the room, holding his shield and longsword, and just not looking stoked. And he just says, "Listen, we're just here for what's his name, Finar?
Mm-hmm.
Finar's the big bad.
Mhm.
We're just here for Finar, but I
Yeah,
have no
Theodric is.
problem
That's
taking
that
you in
boss.
warm or cold. Like, it
Oh,
makes no
God
difference to
damn.
me."
Yeah. You
That is
do.
a nat 20 of intimidation, my dude.
Oh my
You do this, and immediately Arn turns around and sees you, Theodric, just in the door with your sword and shield up, like ready. And he sees not just a man with their sword and shield, but he sees the shield of Dale right up, and his eyes just widen. As you say these words, he looks at you, and with that natural 20, you have successfully turned him against.
Arn is on
Look, I
our
told you my
side.
backup was coming in.
We live to two-step another day, my friend.
Yeah.
And he actually drops his dagger and kind of looks at you and says, "What do you want me to do?" and you just hear from actually a little bit further away, "Keep him holding, you cowards!" As from a little bit further away,
Well,
this
Theodric
voice
responds
calls.
with, "Just stand aside and let us deal with Finar. That's all we want."
And he drops his dagger and he just kind of puts his hands up for that. Awesome, great job. I'm gonna have
Accomplished what I wish I could have.
Valineth make
Yes.
make a perception check for me.
I'm good at those. I'm real good at those. Skills, perception. Oh, no, nothing's getting past me. That's a 23.
23. You hear from what kind of sounds like a whisper come from over where the window was.
Mm.
It is the sound of a female voice.
Ha.
It's Brindle.
Ha. Can I make out it at all? Anything that she said?
Yeah, so basically you hear, "Hey, if anybody's out there, over here, hurry."
Elvish hearing coming in clutch.
What do your help ears hear? I hear a female calling for help. And Valnath, I guess that's all he does is he hears it. So
All right, sweet.
can't do anything else.
Awesome. And so with that, that's going to go ahead and bring us to the top of the order, which has Feanor. What are you doing? So currently you do know that dropping his dagger, Arn has all but surrendered. You have a man in front of you with his shield, so this is going to be Vidar, and then you have Gunnar, who has his bow drawn.
Okay. Okay, grappling went well for me before. Can I try and grab the guy's shield and like flip him over me to like try and almost like wrench it like off him so he's out of the doorway?
Okay.
Like, essentially just a grapple, but then
Yeah.
the flavor is...
This is going to be a little tough. There's about a 2-foot clearing over the top of you, which you could attempt to push him through or pull him through. Technically, these are about, I guess I guess that's probably a little too small. Yeah, about 7-foot doorways, I guess. So about like a little bit, 1.5 feet. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult if you attempt to do that. And plus, with this big round shield, that'll be a little bit tough for him to get him through the door. It is 5 feet wide, but it's kind of congested.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, your friend there seems to have the right idea. Surrender and no one has to get hurt. He's just gonna stand by. Are you really gonna let someone boss you around when your friend here just gets to leave unharmed?
Are you
showing we're merciful?
All right, so go ahead and do a persuasion check against Vidar.
Nat
That
20.
one is a 10.
Okay.
You could get advantage because this guy's just seen one of his friends throw his knife down.
Don't worry, there's passive things that are happening, like as you
Okay,
gain their approval, so no worries.
Can
I'm
I
gonna
also
tell
see
you-
if I can see in at the window? Because like at the moment you said I could add a bonus action. Check, like try and peek into what's going on in that room.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll have you go ahead and do that and attempt to peek kind of behind him. I'm gonna have you make a sleight of hand check as you do that.
Nat 20. Or 22.
Yeah, so you look into the room behind, and it seems the room is pretty dark. There is a lone candle that is sitting on this far table, and you can see someone crouching in the corner. You're able to make out that it is the general demeanor of Brindle, but you do not see anybody else in this room at the moment. At the given time. Yes, and with that, I'm going to have you... Basically, he stands his ground, and he says, No! I've seen what happened to Olaf! That's not happening to me! And he begins to just, like, shove himself full force against you, as he does so. And then you hear kind of just, like, a soft laughing from within the general vicinity of the room. Awesome. Jalen, your turn.
Okay. We need to get in that room, man. Okay. Having just been clonked on the head, I'll turn back to Olaf and go, why did you do that? I thought we were cool. I didn't hurt you.
This is a life or death situation. You realize this.
Yeah, my life. My death.
She's just trying to help you.
You don't have to worry about it. Chill out.
Good thing he's on death's door and he can't reach out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Jalen went through the doorway and just this club to her back. Like, oh! Just complete
like-
cheap shot.
Ow.
Bro!
All right, what do you want to do with your turn, Jalen? Oh, we lost her. Is that just me?
To the shadow realm.
I lost her too.
To the wraith. She became a wraith.
Oh god.
She's
she's
just
back.
thinking about her move.
Oh,
You're back.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm back. Oh, my computer chose the worst time to do that. So is there persuasion?
So are you doing this towards Olaf?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's going to be your action. Go ahead and do a persuasion check for me.
Alright. Ooh, natural 20!
And with that, you have officially turned him as well. These nat 20s are speeding up this process quite a bit.
Man.
Yeah, you just like, come on, what are you doing? And you can hear actually kind of the sound of like a deep sob, and you just get me out of here. I want to be out of here alive.
Did he hear Valineth when he came into the door? I have healing to do.
I'm sure. But that doesn't matter right now. There's combat going on.
No, I'm
Amen.
talking
It's
about
hilarious.
on his mind.
he's thinking deep down.
Someone's here to help me.
Someone's here to help me.
Yeah, absolutely. Which though does bring to these thugs' turn, and so we're gonna have Vidar Yes, Vidar. He's going to go ahead and attempt to shove you, Feanor, deeper into the room. To which that's going to be a contested athletics check for me.
Nat 20 for 24.
Yeah, and that's going to be a natural 2. So, he attempts to...
You're gonna have to try harder than
He
that.
attempts to push... And it just, like, no way, like, no headway. It's like trying to go into a wall.
I'm sure you heard your friend Olaf. Life or death situation.
And
Come on, put your back into it.
he's doing all he can, and it's like almost to the point where like he's moving, and his like feet are just like slipping against the ground as he's attempting to hold you back in. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then let's see here. Gunnar, he is going to attempt to move this way, so it's an opportunity attack if you wish to do so, Feanor.
Can I attempt to grapple him? Grapple this one.
As a reaction.
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. 21.
Yeah, it's gonna beat his 12. As he just like
Come on,
he
you still have this
tries to
fight for your
move.
friend?
Get over here! As you just grab him and grapple him back in. Yeah, he's going nowhere. All right, but that brings us to Valinith.
Yeah,
Right.
Valinith hears the whisper, and so he sneaks back on over there, and he goes back up. He's underneath the window, so he's not like in front of it or at all. He's underneath it.
Okay.
And he calls up under, Brindle, is everything okay?
This way. Hurry before he escapes. And you hear a click, and the window pops open. Inside directly, you see Brindle, and she's up, and she doesn't have any weapons drawn, but you can peer in. Unfortunately, because she is currently blocking the window, you're not going to be able to jump in this turn.
Actually, what Valinith's gonna do is he's gonna yank her out of the window.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
Yank her out.
Which is tiny elf arms fail.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, he's okay at athletics. He's not horrible at it. It's a 10.
10. You're able to grab her, and you begin pulling her out, and you are able to pull her halfway out the window.
All right. And I call over to, is that Theodric in the doorway over there?
Yeah, Theodric's over here.
I do my best to get his attention, is all I do.
All right.
So, Theodric! And I'm like pulling her out of the window as this is happening.
Cedric looks over and is like, oh. Okay.
As he's pulling her out, though, does he see anything, Valinith?
Yeah, so you look in. I believe you have like night vision, the equivalent to dark vision in this game. I'm going to have you, as you peer in, go ahead and make a perception check for me. This is going to just be normal. It's a pretty dark room.
I mean, he's good at perception anyway, so hopefully it's good. It's an 8.
8. You're able to just pick up somebody right here, but you can't see much more other than a small dark movement.
All right. And that's what he notices. And
Okay.
he's yanking her out, yanking the young girl out. I mean, she's not that young, but yanking the girl out.
Okay, perfect.
Compared to Valinith, everyone's young.
True.
I mean, to be fair, true. Not wrong about that. Even you're young. You're not.
As you begin yanking her out, she says, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Let go of me!" And she pushes you. I'm gonna have you make a dexterity saving throw.
Right, the hell? Dexterity saving. Oh, I thought it was a nat 1. Okay, that's not as bad. That's a 9.
9. You're basically.
Hold up. I mean, it's the same roll. I'll keep it.
Okay.
I actually think it's a straight dexterity, but it's the same.
Okay. You get pushed back 5 feet, and you fall down. You are technically prone on the ground as she pushes you, and she completes her movement and like kind of stumbles outside like the window and is just, like laying on her back, also prone, just like, "What are you doing?" He said, and he said, "There, hurry before he escapes."
And I'm assuming. Do you see this, Theodric? I'm assuming he sees all this going down.
I mean, I'm right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Valinith is just like, Well, your safety is more important, little lady. And that's what he says.
All right. Persuasion. I'm going to have you actually make a persuasion check for me.
Persuasion? He's not very persuasive, though. He means well, but he's not persuasive. Don't
It's,
talk.
it's okay. I think
You
you
were
got
injured.
this.
Yeah, that's a, do I? That's a 2.
Yep, he got a nat 1.
Oh, that was freaking good!
You don't hear any words actually coming from within inside the room. In fact, it seems eerily silent. And Brindle, she takes a look up at you, and you have currently convinced her twice to side. So one more, and you've completely brought her over. Just FYI.
All right, got any natural 20s in you, Theodric?
Yeah, all these nat 20s, all of like these like great thing, my bad
for
rolls.
yourself.
We've already used 4
It's
of them.
like this.
Yeah.
It's like fate.
yourself.
Within the first hour.
First 4 sessions.
Valinith has become the new Theodric this session.
Look, I'm overdue, so this is. I'm overdue some good luck.
Help balance out the universe.
Mm. And then I'm going to actually Valinith as Brindle climbs out the window. I'm going to have Valinith and actually Feanor make perception checks for me. Feanor, yours is going to be a disadvantage.
Feanor, where'd your elf eye see? Not bad.
It's more like elf ears here. 18.
I got a 5.
5. Nice. Valinith, as you kind of peer in, you're unable to see much of anything as you're kind of like like your eye level is like the bottom of the windowsill. You're unable to see much, but you are able to hear the sound of a heavy object moving.
And Valinith's just like, who's moving around in there? Hello, sir. I mean, not convincing anyone, but vocalizing
Absolutely.
his observation.
Theodric, it is your turn.
Okay, obviously I've seen all of this go down. Theodric is going to just kind of like peer over Arn to
Okay.
Feanor and be like, have you got this handled?
Oh wait, Arn stepped out of the way. By the way.
Oh, okay. Well, he's just gonna look to Feanor. Have you got this handled?
Yeah, everything seems to be going well. Like dodging a blow, like
Have an archer in his arm. Just
yeah,
like...
like slams him into the wall a little bit. Like, yeah, I seem to be great. Go do what you need to do.
Okay.
Can you bring me back a cup of coffee?
Well, hello if you need more help. And
No, will do.
Theodric is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20 feet. It's double movement to get through the window.
So unfortunately, you're not able to move over the top of her unless you want to jump through the window. You can attempt to broad jump, which I'm going to have you make a dexterity or an acrobatics check in order to do so. So if you want to do that, it's still double your movement to get through the window, but you have also the potential to fall prone on the other side, on the inside.
Okay. I don't think I want to do that. I don't think my acrobatics.
Have faith in yourself. You're rolling well today.
My I don't want to land on poor Brindle.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll land on
would he
on
land
what's his
inside
name?
the room, but just
So basically it depends on the roll. So I have a DC set. If he rolls basically close to the DC, he'll clear it, but like fall prone inside the room. If he rolls bad enough, he'll be falling on top of Brindle. So, FYI.
I reckon go for it. Try it. You won't know unless you do it.
Brindle.
If she gets
I
crushed,
believe in
so
you.
what?
I believe in you, Theodric. I
Okay.
believe in you.
I'm.
Wait, yeah. You could also try and persuade Brindle.
Oh, that's true. She's not technically
only
not on
has
our
2
team.
points.
Oh well, she's
Yeah.
not the issue here. Like I'm not scared of Brindle. I just want to make.
I'm just saying you could.
It's okay.
if you want
Valineth
to.
will persuade with his natural 2s. It's okay.
In that case, I think Theodric will just. Screw it. I'll try it. I'll try a leap through the window.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
Okay.
Hey,
Your
by the
turn
way,
on that one.
speaking of which, before anything said, those in chat, we do actually have a new perk as well. That is a channel points redemption. Those of you who are rolling in the channel points, you have the opportunity once per stream to
Or if you
introduce-
subscribe at the Patreon too, you get.
or the Patreon. Yeah, that's true. you have that automatically if you're subscribed.
Bookish.
Oh,
Andy
book.
Murray
Evil.
voted.
Andy Kari. Okay. So since both of those were redeemed, this first one is going to be given to Theodric. I am going to roll a d4. I'm going to assign all of you a value. If essentially, okay, who has inspiration right now? Does anybody have inspiration?
I don't think anyone does.
No.
Except for Theodric. So
No.
basically,
I
a
do?
two. Well,
Now you
yes,
do.
one. Now
Oh,
you do.
from the-
You do
Yeah,
now.
from book. So essentially what I'm going to do with Ikari's inspiration is I'm going to roll a d4. On a 1, it's Valnus. 3, it's Jalen's. 4, Feanor, and then re-roll on Theodric. Yeah?
Oh wait,
Sounds good.
That is going to be to Jalen. So you gain an inspiration.
get it, Jalen.
Okay. Here's how that goes down. Jalen just thinks to herself of the little portrait that Akari drew her the last time they met, and she just gets a little smile
Anyway,
on her
my
face.
acrobatics was a 13.
13. Yeah, so you dive over the top, through the window. You're able to get up, and you see, or it takes a second for your eyes to adjust, but you are seemingly in an empty room right now as you get to your feet. You still have the rest of your movement. So that is what? 5, 10, 15, 20, that's your full movement, actually. So
Hey, you're in the room.
you're in the room, and you're up, and you're not prone, so you don't have to spend half
my,
your movement.
My
next to it.
movement speed's 30, so... Do I have more or... No, 30.
So it'd be 5, 10, 15, and then this is 10 feet plus double, so that's 20.
Yeah.
So 25, and then
Okay.
sweet. Awesome. And so you make your way into this room, and you look around, and you see that you have Vidar. He's trying to push basically Feanor through this door, but it is a mostly empty room. As you look and you peer inside, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me, Theodric.
That is a 4.
A 4.
Oh, you have inspiration.
Didn't I... Oh.
You did not
Did I
use
just
it.
Use it for... Oh.
You had the natural
Did you-
13. Or not natural, whatever the total 13 was. but-
You could choose to do it, but
Yeah, you don't have to do it. You can
That's
just
even worse.
Oof.
I'm gonna just stick with that 4. Oof. Big
Glad
oof.
to have you back, Theodric.
Can I give him my inspiration?
It's fine.
Unfortunately,
I feel
no,
bad
but
now.
It's okay.
I'm happy with what I got.
okay. So, 4. And so you look around as your eyes take a hot sec to adjust to the candlelight. Yeah, that's your turn. Which brings
Wait,
us.
So was the jumping through an action or was it movement?
Well, I guess technically that was a movement. Yeah, you can attempt an action.
I am just going to try to intimidate. Is it Vidar who's in the doorway?
Yeah, he is.
Field? I'm just gonna go over here. Like boxing yourself in isn't a good idea, mate.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intimidation check for me.
That is only a 5.
A 5. You see, he turns his head behind you and is just like, "Oi, what, boss, where are you?" And he begins to freak out. You have successfully convinced him.
Hey, let's go!
Oh, okay, yeah. He's
Nice.
a runner. God damn it.
Yeah, and so that's all gone down, which brings us to the top of the round, Feanor.
Okay,
Oh, FYI, the only ones who technically are not completely on board are Vidar and
Oh boy.
Vidar and technically Brindle.
Wait. Oh yeah.
what about the dude I am grappling?
Oh yeah, not him too.
Okay, the dude I am grappling,
Gunnar.
can I attempt to disarm his bow and then stomp it to like break it?
Break his bow.
I want you to do that as part of if I can, be like, lad, if I wanted this fight to be over, it would already be done. And then to like knock his weapon to the floor and like stomp.
All right, so I'm going to have you, this is going to be your persuasion for him, and it's going to be in intimidation. But first, before you make that intimidation check, you're going to get a modifier based off of this athletics check. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
10.
10. You're able to basically rip it out of his hands and like throw it on the ground. Unfortunately, it's far enough away where you can't stomp it to pieces. You're going to make an intimidation check with no modifiers.
4.
Get off of me! Get off of me! And he's just like completely like in his own head right now as he is just like spending every ounce of energy to try to fight you off. He does not seem to have made his way through.
Good thing you got Miss Persuasive in the room with you, so.
True that.
Feanor's done a good job of controlling the flow of battle.
True. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jalen, it is your turn.
Okay, so who's left? It's Vita and
Vidar and Gunnar.
Gunnar's,
And technically
yeah,
Brindle, but
Gunnar's
she's
the
outside.
one being grappled.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In an attempt to diffuse the situation, it'll
Mhm.
just be like, none of us want to hurt you. None of us wish you ill will. If you help us, then that evil man will be out of your lives forever.
All right. Who are you basically aiming this towards?
Can I do both of them or just one?
Basically within 10 feet. So if you move over here, you'll be able to do both of them.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Go ahead and roll
Okay.
2 checks.
I'll do that. Ooh, I think I grabbed the wrong thing.
2 persuasion checks.
Okay. Two persuasion checks. Okay. So the first one is a 19. That'll be for Vita.
Okay.
And the second one is a natural 20. And that'll be Gunnar's one.
All right. Yeah, you've very successfully convinced both of them. And immediately Gunnar goes limp in Feanor's arms. Just like, fine. And Vidar, he drops his shield a little bit and looks around. Is like, we've been overcome, boys. Boss. And he sees, and it's just like this look of absolute like terror on his face as he sees all of you. He had like you don't know these people don't know you at all. And so the things that you're saying to them, it may be reaching them or not, but they have officially become not violent against you, as it were. Sweet. That was really good, actually. That was really, really good. Awesome. Valineth,
Nat
it's your
20s
turn.
came in clutch there. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Go team.
Valineth.
Valineth sees Brindle on the ground and seeing Theodric go in again. His medic senses, his scholar senses are kicking in, and he runs up to her and he's like, "Are you okay, Brindle? Are you okay?" And he's gonna do like medical checkup on her. He's not gonna worry about anything else that's going on.
Make a medicine check for me.
And if she tries to do anything, he's gonna be like, "Shh." Put his finger to her lip and say, "Don't talk. You're injured." And that's what he's gonna do. All right. Medicine.
Yeah.
Good. That was the intention. That's a 17.
You start pulling out like your herbalist kit. I'm not saying you're using any of your herbs, but like you pull out your herbalist kit and you start like getting out like bandages and you like sit her up and you begin like checking her like a patient. She's like, "No, what's going on?"
Don't talk. You're injured.
Immediately,
That's way creepier than
No.
I think you mean to make
no,
it.
I'm
Well.
fine. I'm fine.
It is a Twilight line, so you know. It's angsty Edward Cullen.
Oh my god, Valineth is Edward Cullen in this situation.
She's
M1
awkward like
AOD.
Bella. She's
Chat,
like
chat, I need that fan art. I need that fan art, please.
yeah, and then she stares like, "Bella, why is he staring so intently at me?"
You're the one with the artist's badge here, Nick. Like, I don't know what
but
you're...
I don't want to have to draw all
And
of
Valineth
that
has this look on his face, like he's smelling something. But in reality, he's repulsed by what he smells.
Okay, enough. Let's keep
Yeah, you've brought her over to your side. Your skin starts glistening.
And as he's doing this, he's gonna peer through the window and see if he sees anything. If he can.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check.
You're just gonna see the back of Theodric's
Yeah, you see
head.
Sarah.
It's a 21.
21. You see the back of Theodric, but also you look around and you see an empty room. This room in this general vicinity is completely empty.
Did I see any heavy object that could have potentially been scuffled that I heard earlier?
There's a few heavy objects that are in here. There's actually a broken set of cabinets that are on the floor, but that seems to be relatively original since you come here. And then a few chairs. But you do see a door. This door right here has been opened and basically is hitting against this chair. But you're unable to see much further in because you got a big Rohirrim guy in your face. So.
I said, it's empty! Where did he go? Is what I call out into the room.
Brindle, she sits up and she says, I'm fine. And she kind of like brushes you off. And she kind of states, she's like, I don't see him. We have to go in. And she starts pointing inside and says, you! And she like taps on your back, Theodric. Go into that room, hurry! Which at that point does bring up Theodric.
Okay, well, Theodric is going to go into that room.
How quickly are you going to be going into this room? This is important.
Full speed, it's Theodric.
If
Sprint.
anyone can one-on-one anyone, it's Theodric.
Yeah, I guess he's going to just shield first, obviously. Just kind of like.
As your eyes adjust, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me. As you just go full-fledged bursting into this room.
That is a 13.
13. Your eyes adjust enough to be able to basically throw this chair out of the way, bowl over, move the table to the side as you burst through this door. You are in this room, and you see a chest in the far corner. The chest itself seems to be locked and closed. There is a crate directly to your right, and there is a large queen-size bed to your left. It looks relatively tattered, but of all of the furniture in here, the best kept. You look in here. You don't see anybody.
Can I make an investigation check?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an
Just
investigation check.
Are there any scratches on the floor to indicate something has moved?
Absolutely.
That is a 12.
A 12. You look and you search up and down. You first kind of examine very briefly this wall, this crate. You don't see anything of interest. And you immediately turn away from this chest as it doesn't seem to have been disturbed relatively recently. But you do see that the bed has been pulled a little bit towards you. And just enough to reveal what looks to be a trapdoor in the floor.
Okay.
You still have movement. You still have movement.
Go down the trapdoor.
All right, so you go and you open. And as you begin to open, I'm going to have you make an athletics check.
Okay.
Come on.
That's an 11.
11. You pull on the door and you, boom, rip it open. However, as you do so, a thick, basically, spike goes into your hand. Basically, I guess it's like not like a super spike, but like almost more of like a needle. And immediately your hand starts to go numb. As you open the trapdoor and you look down inside, you are now poisoned.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you look down. You see it is dark and there is a ladder that is down there, but you don't see anybody at the bottom of this ladder. It's a shaft that probably goes down about probably 6 feet into basically a room that's like 4 feet tall, like a room system.
Okay.
You climb down the ladder as you do so, and you look around you, and it is pitch black. Your eyes cannot adjust to this very, very dark.
Before I climbed down, Theodric, like, after, like, being like, ow, like, just turned kind of back and vaguely shouted, "There's a trapdoor in here, I'm heading down."
I like it.
just to try and make sure the others kind of get a vague idea of
Can we make
where he's
perception
going.
checks?
For what specifically?
Hearing him.
Yeah, you hear him. Battle is officially ended.
Okay. Can Feanor say, "Alright, lads, we all seem to be on the same page. Why don't you go check up on your friend Olaf? Didn't sound like he was doing too well in there, and I feel like he needs a friend."
And then you see Gunnar, and he, as you like release him, and he's just like still kind of like shaken up a little bit, and he looks at both you and Jalen. Arn is in the corner. He's basically the first one to have like accepted his fate, and so he's the most calm. But Gunnar, he says, "Who are you people? I don't recognize you." And Arn in the corner is like, "Didn't they just announce it to us? They were part of the melee."
Yeah. The big dude who's in the other room actually. The guy he did a 1v1 against Elstan. Actually unseated him in the horse riding competition. So please don't cause any more trouble.
Feanor, I think we should get a move on.
Oh yes, lads, out of the way, please. And he's gonna like run full speed into the room where Theodric is.
Are you following Jalen?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So you make your way into the
Following
room,
close behind.
and you see Gunnar, and he's basically slouched against the bed, and he's starting to breathe heavy. And you can see at this point there's actually a little bit of blood that has started coming out of the corner of his mouth, and dripping into his beard. His dirty face masks it a little bit, but upon closer examination, you can see that he is not doing well. He has a little bit of a nosebleed as well, which is odd because he hasn't received any damage of any kind from any of you. As he just like looks at you and just says, "Not like this. Please don't like this." And he just like looks up at the ceiling, and his breathing just continues to get faster and harder.
Does Valinus see this?
You're outside.
Bad.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I ran over to
can
Theodric.
I...
Sorry, I'm just looking at the map.
Over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just looking.
Jalen comes in here. All right, cool.
Okay. I will happily go in there. Can
I'm assuming. Was that what your plan
check,
was? Sorry.
Is he okay?
He go ahead and make a medicine check for
It
me.
wasn't what my plan was, but I'm not gonna ignore it now that you said
Well,
that.
Valinus automatically going into the house anyways once all this is done, and he's looking for Olaf. He doesn't really care about what's his bucket, honestly.
Right.
At this
Jalen, tell me what you want to do. Valinith is going to be seeing all this.
I'll give you tips.
Yeah. Okay.
Some
so
sweet
I just
tips.
wanna like.
You have enough to basically
go over to see if I
tell
can
guys
figure
each
out
other something.
what- Sorry.
You basically have just enough time as
I
Valinith
just
rushes
wanna,
over.
like. Okay, cool. So do you want me to do a medicine
Yeah.
check?
Do it. Yeah, obviously you're doing it before Valinus comes in.
All right,
so.
cool. Medicine. Here we go. I got a 10.
10. You examine
Yay.
him, and as you kind of look around, you actually take down. He has a hood, and he has a blanket wrapped around him, and you see this like very, very nasty bruise on his head, and like almost to the point where it looks like it's like caved in slightly, as almost as if his skull has been cracked and has been left the way that it has, and he's been hiding it with his hood. You have no idea how to help him, how to fix him, and you do this just as Valinith makes his way into the room.
You got the big bonk.
Where's the patient? And he's thinking about Olaf. He's not thinking about anyone else. Like,
Valinith, please look at this. I don't know what to
Look
do.
at
I
what?
don't
Look
know
at
what
what?
to do. I don't know what to
Oh.
do.
oh, this chap. Oh, good
Wait,
sir, good
what I'm
sir. Are you
looking at.
all right? And Valinith takes a look at the wound if he can.
Yeah, you do, and you without much examination, you see that yes, it is clear his skull has been fractured, and you see kind of his symptoms with his nose bleeding and some blood coming out. He has overexerted himself, and there has been a rush of flow to his brain, meaning that he is currently in a state where his wound that was clotting is now beginning to hemorrhage. I'm going to have you make a... what are you going to be doing first of all? And
First
then I'm
and
going to have you make a
foremost-
follow-up medicine check.
Valinith obviously sees this and he understands it, and he's like, okay, first and foremost, good sir, I don't know your name, but you need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Gunnar. His name is Gunnar.
Gunnar, you need to calm down.
Olaf.
Relax. Oh, this is Olaf who's dying?
This is Olaf.
Oh, snap. Okay,
Oh.
okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, Olaf.
I was.
Olaf, my good sir. You need to calm down. Take some deep breaths. This will only get worse if you panic. So just calm down. And Valnus starts looking him over, and he's actually going to use, if he can, one of his arcane recoveries on him.
So arcane recovery is not a thing. That's the wizard.
Or whatever the
hands of a healer.
Hands of a healer. He's gonna spend some time to do that on him if he can.
Okay, so like the 10-minute kind of check.
Yeah, the 10-minute check.
All right, so as you examine, Jalen, you can kind of leave at this moment if you wish, or you can stay there, whatever you decide to do.
Val actually calls Jalen. I got this, Jalen. I think we got bigger fish to fry. So.
Okay. All right. Just like looking very seriously at Olaf. Just like, he will never do this to another person. If I have anything to say about it, and then I book it out of the room.
Yeah.
Smash cut to Feanor diving into a hole.
Yeah, exactly. So as so I'm gonna quickly do a little description of what Valnith is attempting to do here, but before we jump over to Theodric and Feanor, and so you make your way over to kind of the patient. You tell him to kind of lay down a little bit. You prop him up with a couple of dirty like clothes and like a pillow, and you begin to examine his head, kind of elevating his head above his heart, and you begin to look, and you see that this is a nasty wound. Like you've never seen anything quite like this, or at least something like this go untreated for so long. And his face itself is starting to become purplish. Again, like blood is starting to begin to bleed more heavily out his nose and out of his mouth. You basically take a look into your herbs and everything, and because there is no actual like outwards cut at the moment, none of your herbs or bandages are going to be able to help. But you go ahead and you lay your hands on basically this man. I'm gonna have you make a medicine check for me.
I'm so nervous. I have really good medicine, but I'm so nervous.
You got this, man.
Oh, it's so bad!
Oh no.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Wait,
I'm not gonna.
I will fix this. I've been saving all of my sparks for this one.
Thank you. Spider.
Take it.
All right. I mean, I hope it's well worth it. It definitely.
So FYI, guys, when you decide to use inspiration, when you do so, I'm not going to allow you to use your inspiration if you've already revealed the number to me.
The number. Okay.
Just FYI. So if you're like curious, like and you like
reveal the number.
Please help me. Okay, but if you want to go ahead and use it, you can go ahead and reveal your.
And it was a 22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you. Thank you so much, Spider. It was a 10, so
you
that
lay
was a 3.
You lay one hand on his chest, and you lay one hand on his head, and you actually close your eyes and begin to think of memories of back in the days when you were learning under your mother and her basically elvish medicine. You can see Elrond and him basically teaching your mom and teaching you kind of by nature of you being there, the different methods to be able to treat wounds, particularly bleeding. But then you do remember one thing that Elrond said that never really left you. And he says, all of the medicine in the world can be able to help. All kinds of ailments, anything that afflicts the spirit, anything that afflicts the body. But the true power behind medicine, the true power behind elvish medicine, it's hope. And it is in that hope, and it is in the power of our ancestors, it is in the power of the Eldar, that we're able to channel magical energies. As long as you have a pure heart and a selfless will. anything is possible. And as you remember this, you begin to feel kind of this very, like, almost like heated sensation in the palms of your hand. One is on his chest over his heart, the other is on his head wound. And this kind of warm flowing begins to go through up your arms, through your hands, and transfer to the cold body. You can feel a warmth begin to make its way around the wounds. I'm going to have you go ahead and roll your healing dice.
Okay, I believe with my hands of the healer at level 2, I may multiply the 2d8 by my proficiency modifier as well.
Yep.
Or multiply? Hold up.
So it's 2d8 plus your proficiency, or plus your wisdom bonus.
Yeah.
I think it's half your wisdom. I think it's your wisdom bonus. And then if you
yeah.
spend 10 minutes doing
Yeah,
it, which I'm
2.
assuming you're doing
I
it,
am, yeah,
you
yeah.
multiply that
By 2.
times 2.
Okay, so 2d8 plus wisdom. Which is good. I think I have a plus 4 in wisdom. I'm on my app.
The dice
trying to
rolls.
find this. Yeah.
So it should be under your actions.
Oh, I have a plus 5. Oh! Let's freaking go. Alright, actions. Abilities? Oh, actions. Actions. Okay, hands of the healer. Alright. Not great, but it's fine. 2, so 4 plus 5, which is 9, times 2, 18.
That's really freaking good.
Yeah. And that was a bad roll, so...
Jeez. Yeah, so you begin to do this, and you almost lose yourself. You seem to be floating as if in the heavens, from the stars, looking down upon this situation. And time passes. Jalen, you kind of peer in as he begins to do this, and I don't know what your plan is. Do you plan on making your way over to here, Jalen?
Yeah, I wanna follow Theodric and Vainal in the pursuit.
You see him at work, but basically all you see him is basically hunched over Olaf immediately, just doing this. And he's muttering something, actually. It seems to be Sindarin. And as he's doing so, you actually see a tear kind of fall from Valinith's face as it begins to slowly trickle. Arn, he's actually now made his way over to the doorway and seeing you work. And... Gunnar, he's made his way in here to kind of see what's going on. At this point, coming in through the front door, also observing what's going on from a distance, actually, we have Brindle, and she's looking inside as well. And this takes about 10 minutes, but as this tear begins to fall, it's as if basically slow motion has taken over. And everybody from the outside, essentially... Everybody out from the outside see him there, and him almost look like he's weeping over the body of Olaf. And Olaf's breathing suddenly becomes steady, and actually there's a small breeze that comes through the window, but it begins to kind of blow through Valinith's hair, and almost like a sweet aroma begins to come off of him, and like the entire room and everybody that is watching begin to feel almost a sense of peace. As the breaths begin to slow and normalize, the shakiness begins to leave, and immediately he opens his eyes and he looks, and you open your eyes too, almost as if coming back into kind of your body from the heavens. And you open your eyes and you look into his. You remove your hands, you remove both of them. The blood stains are still there, but you have noticed that over his head, what was once a caved-in, broken mess is now completely fixed, completely normal, and his heart rate has actually beated to where it's slower than the normal heartbeat, and he is in a state of complete relaxation, not feeling any pain whatsoever at this point. You have very successfully fixed him.
Yeah, Valinith finishes his healing, and he looks up at Olaf, and he kind of sees the work that happened, and he's kind of just overtaken with emotion, because obviously he's seen Elrond, and he's seen many of the other elf healers.
And FYI, you've never done this, Valinith.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's seen many of the elf healers who have accomplished such a thing And Valineth, this is something he's dreamed, not necessarily he's dreamed of doing, but like he's dreamed of helping someone as much as, say, Elrond or his mother have, because that's why he's out here and that's what he's doing here. Like, this is his purpose out here. And then he just smiles at the man and puts a hand on the side of his face, and he's just like, welcome back, good sir. And he lifts him up from sitting down and just gives him a warm hug, a warm embrace hug. And he's like, you still have so much left to live for, my friend. And then he whispers in his ear, huzzah. That's what he does.
Yeah, he's speechless at this point. He kind of looks like almost like not able to say anything, just like completely stunned at what just happened. Yeah, like honestly, like Australian, the magic of elves, it's crazy. It not only affects just the people, but everybody around. You can see Arn, he's standing and just like dumbfounded, his like jaw to the floor. Brindle, you can see her in the back. Her hood, her hood is over kind of like her face a little bit, but you can see that there's like a small tear that has begun rolling down her face, and like she sniffs and like hard, like as you turn away and look back in, and kind of looks away, but kind of like downcast, and she says, I've never seen such a thing before. And she like kind of meets your gaze a little bit. You see her dirty face, and this is like the first real good look that you've had at her since the time that she came up and stole your vambrace, actually. I've heard of the healing powers of elves, but I've never thought I could witness it in person. And especially with my friend. And she looks, and Olaf is just kind of still there, stunned.
Valineth looks to the rest of the room, and he actually smiles and he laughs and he looks at Arn and he's like, I told you I was here to heal, didn't I? And he kind of like chuckles to himself and helps Olaf get to his feet. And he's not actually, Valineth is not going to follow them into the hole. He's going to actually spend a little bit of time talking to them and getting to know their shenanigans and the things that they were up to, and getting to know them a little bit. Valineth will follow in short order, but he does want to talk to them and like tell them like who the party actually is and like our purpose here. So that way no one's in the dark about anything, so they're 100% know what's going on. And then Valineth will follow later at a later time.
Okay, perfect. Which brings us to Feanor, Theodric, and Jalen. So this has been revealed to be a trapdoor that makes its way down into the dungeon depths. Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Oh, Theodric, a hole. Yeah, I'm glad you found it. Well, why haven't you jumped in?
Oh, he's waiting at the bottom for you, by the way.
Oh, cool.
I did jump in.
Oh, okay. Can you see anything down there?
No, it's incredibly dark.
And
Also,
super cramped.
Just, try not to like step on the trapdoor or anything. It jabbed me with something. Gonna need to have Valineth take a look at me afterwards.
Well, he's a bit
Hang
busy
on,
at the moment.
Gunnar had a lantern. Can I commandeer that?
So Gunnar, he had a torch, but he also had lantern oil. And so you can take that. I think you guys have torches on you too, but you can take his torch if you wish to do so. You see it that it's actually propped up actually against the side wall. You easily identify it, you grab over and get it. Ask him for some oil, which he actually willingly pours on it. And
I actually do have a flask of lantern oil and a torch.
Just
so no need to take this.
So it's just a drop down.
yeah, it's like a 5-foot drop down.
Okay. Is there space for Feanor maybe to go ahead of Theodric because he's shorter, and I'm assuming his elven eyes can help him see in the dark?
So at the current moment, so Theodric is down at the bottom of this hole. And while he's there, he has to really crouch, as basically there is like this ladder goes down 5 feet, and there's about a foot between the roof of this place and then the floor actually up above. So it's about a 4-foot tunnel.
Oh no.
Theodric would have to go forward and let you come in behind him, or climb out and let you climb down in front of him.
Theodric, it's very cramped down there. I can't
Yes.
seem to see past you at all.
Okay, we'll swap places then.
Okay, make sure you light a torch. I think Jalen's getting some oil. A lantern. Okay, yeah, and then Feanor's gonna jump in first.
Perfect.
Yes.
You make your way out. You grab grab the torch and begin to follow the trail. Jalen, what are you doing in the meantime? Following?
Yeah, I'm following, but I'm also like getting my torch ready and
Mhm.
lit for when we're down there.
Perfect. Yeah, everybody, you kind of make your way in order. So Feanor first, then Jalen, then Theodric. Is that how you want to do it, or Jalen at the back?
Yeah. I'll go at the back.
Okay. And
They'll move much faster in the tunnels than Theodric would, seeing as he's
Yeah.
so cramped and
And
crouched.
look, we've got a fair bit of HP to lose compared to Jalen.
Oh yeah.
So
We're in the middle.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm the squishy jelly in the middle of the
the marshmallow and the s'more.
whatever you wanna.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't really do s'mores
oh, yeah,
here.
yeah, but Feanor's just gonna like go down the tunnel as fast as he can.
So you do so. Your eyes adjust pretty quickly. It is dark, but it isn't absolute darkness as you follow. And this is a tunnel that seems relatively simple, relatively straight, and it seems old. This seems like, as you investigate, something that is probably original to the architecture of Dale, and isn't recently dug, as the walls themselves are actually lined with stone, as if this was purposely laid. You follow for about 5 minutes, and until you come to what looks to be a sewer grate, kind of like one of those circular wall ones. It is actually open, and it is swinging open just barely. And you come up to this grate, and on the other side of it is revealed basically a long, basically sewer sewage. So you have like this like long kind of like tunnel, kind of these somewhat half exposed pipes. And then there is a ladder which looks like goes up to the upper part of the city, and then there is also kind of like this canal where there's probably about 6 feet of like nasty poop water that is lining there. It does have a little, very small current as it moves from left to right. You can only assume that this actually eventually dumps itself easterly into the river running.
Can I actually very quickly? Feanor wants to check to see if it seems like any sign of a splash or something of like this guy is doing whatever he can to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want to see like if there's like signs of, like you said, there's a slight current, but yeah, is anything like splash more up against the wall? Like did he jump in or did he climb?
Yes, make an investigation check for me. And as this happens, Jalen and Theodric do file in as well. Are you guys looking for anything in particular?
If it's okay, I'd like to help Feanor to give him advantage.
Sure, absolutely.
Hey.
Natural 20 for 21.
Woo, baby. Yeah, you look and you actually see that there is some slight splashing just to your right of what looked to be nasty fecal water that has splashed up onto kind of the stone pavers where you are. It's pretty gross. You examine on the other side, and you see that there is what look to be handprints, as if there was a decision that was being made. So you're able to pretty much see everything that is happening. And so essentially, what ended up happening is Finar, he made his way down into the sewers, jumped in as if to swim down through the pipes, decided to climb up and out, but what looks like he lost his traction and he fell backwards into the sewage, and the current carried him down into the pipes. They're pretty large pipes into basically wherever the current leads.
All right, lads. Looks like we're jumping in.
Lovely.
After
Yep,
you.
sure. And yeah, Feanor's just gonna like go in. He's like, you know, yeah, I won't say he's been in worse, but he's like, well, look, this is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you jump in. I'm going to have you make a Constitution saving throw for me.
For a moment.
All of us would just
A
faint.
12.
Before I dive in,
Whoever
I would
wants
just
to
like
jump in.
pause for a moment. And
Yes. Sorry, Jalen, what was that?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, before Jalen jumps in, she just takes a moment to think about every single person in her life that would tell
Hey
her
guys, you
that
could
this
try
is a
cutting
bad
him off. You
idea.
can try cutting him off. I'm gonna try and push through here to make sure he doesn't come back. And then he jumps.
He's the plunger. Yeah. So Jalen, you think about this, and yeah, this is something. Immediately, you see Tad pop up into your face, just kind of like the smirk that he would give you to see you covered in crap, and just like,
Like, not even just Tad.
Yeah,
it would be my
everybody.
father, my mother,
Yep.
every single tutor, and basically everyone I know that would tell me that this is a bad thing to
Jump
do.
in the chat hole.
Yeah. Theodric, what are you doing in this moment?
I'm jumping in as well, so I also made a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, and then Jalen, you
And,
as well. Constitution saving throw.
I still have mine to use, so if anyone needs
Oh,
it.
boy.
All right, Feanor, what was your result?
Why the heck not?
12.
12. Okay.
I got a nat 20.
Graceful.
Woohoo!
Stands
Swan
on
dive.
and I got a 23.
23.
Oh,
Okay.
let's freaking go.
All of
Dirty
you
23.
jump in. Jalen, you're gonna go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. And this is going to be at advantage +2. Theodric, you're making a wisdom saving throw at +2, and Feanor, you're making a wisdom saving throw, no modifiers.
I got a 16.
16.
If anyone needs that, you advantage.
Whoop.
Just let me-
I do have a dirty
I got
20.
I got a
Emphasis on the
13.
dirty.
13.
It's your advantage. Stop trying to pawn it off.
Perfect. All of you gain 1 point of shadow as you
Yep.
fall into, as you jump into this. Essentially, the reason behind it is this is like, regardless of your experiences, like this is something that is absolutely filthy and is something that will stick with you. It's not necessarily something that is permanent per se, but it's like ugh. Yes, Jalen, what was that?
Time to get over this ordeal.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does Fano automatically
Oh yeah, that's right. I
succeed?
do too, don't I? Woo!
Hey, yeah, you do.
What would you do without me?
True. These things from session to session. Thank you so much for thinking about that. So Feanor, you do automatically succeed, so you don't gain any points of shadow, and that is going to be your use of that from your. So you're good. Jalen, Theodric, you both gain a point of shadow as you begin to swim kind of with this relatively slow current. As you wade through and kind of... Yeah, it's pretty nasty, the stuff that's down here. Not only is there, like, fecal matter of all kinds, but there is, like, floating garbage, there's mold, there's, like, carcasses of rodents as you begin to kind of wade through this. Although, as you continue to go, as you continue to make your way through, a couple times, retch from here to there, adding to, it's horrible. The
Just think
things
of the
that you're doing.
forest. Just think of the forest. I'll be fine. Just think of the forest.
You begin.
Oh, I think some got in my mouth. Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. It's freaking disgusting. And as you kind of wade through this, it begins to pick up as it looks like it's kind of taken, like gravity started to take it as a little bit of a slope. You can choose to go with the current, or you can choose to resist it as it begins to pick up.
Can I see again if there's signs of struggle ahead of us?
Make a perception check. This is going to be made at disadvantage for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna say with the current situation, you can't physically investigate everything that's going on. You can basically just notice what's around.
So I initially had a nat 20, but instead it's a 17.
17. That's pretty good still.
Okay.
You look around and you've realized at this point, based on the struggle that you saw up above, chances are heads aren't going to be popping up above this water. If you want to be able to see anything, you're going to have to go under.
Yeah, no, I'm good. That's no. Nah, he just can't bring himself to do it.
Understandable. Jalen, Theodric, are you going to attempt to resist the current or just let it take you?
If Finnar's willing to put his head under this thing to escape us, he deserves to leave. He's earned it.
I mean, I disagree with that on principle. So on principle, I'm gonna put my head underneath this thing.
Jalen, wow.
So I'm assuming Feanor shares this with the
I
two
would
of you.
have done it, but only because Feanor said that I'm gonna do it because
It's not worth
I
it.
can't
It's not
let him
worth it.
go away.
Daedric is just kind of.
It is worth
How
it.
strong is the current? Like,
It's not super strong, but you can tell it's picking up like pretty exponentially.
okay, like, Finnar was a much slighter man,
You have-
wasn't he? He was much skinnier.
From what you could see, he was relatively skinny. He seemed to be wearing like decently heavy clothing. But maybe his frame is probably a little bit smaller. Bigger than Jalen and Feanor, but smaller than you, Theodric.
Okay, I'm gonna just keep going with the current. I doubt he could have fought back against it
Mhm.
that hard, so I think he's probably still being swept down with all the sewerage.
Feanor half turns, like, yeah, guys, I can't see any sign of it. Jalen's head goes under. Oh my god, what are you doing?
Oh,
You
jeez.
have no idea the lengths I will go to
Stubborn
hold a
girl.
grudge
He
against something.
Feanor locks eyes with Theodric, like, what the?
Jalen, I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh, this can only go
Let me
well.
know. Let me know if you need me.
Okay, I got a 1, but I have
Oh,
the
thank
King's
God.
Cup
'Cause
still.
is that a nat one?
So it can't get
It was a
much
nat
worse
one.
than that.
Oh,
Okay, 16.
Okay, 16.
16. Yeah, you dip under. You dip under, and it's all you could do to open your eyes as it begins to just absolutely burn. You're able to see
has
kind of
pink eye.
through. Yeah, you begin to see through the muck, and it's not like super duper thick. Like it's still watery, but it's like disgusting. And you look around and you don't see any sign of life per se. You do see what looks to be actually a decomposing body that has kind of made its way down and slowly moving across the bottom. You examine it, it is not Finar. It is someone who looks like has been dead for quite some time and tossed in the sewers. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh lord.
All of
Oh,
us, or
no.
just the one?
Just
that's up?
Jalen, because Jalen's seeing this.
Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
Is there a throwing up at Mo?
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go with that. It's an 11.
11. You take one look at it and you shudder. Like immediately you shudder. You take another point of shadow. And as you see that, it like stops you from being able to keep your head under the water much longer as you pop up. You additionally take 2 points of poison damage as you've gone underneath. Yeah, this place is nasty. It's not good. And the longer that you're in here, you've only been in here for 3-ish minutes, maybe 4 minutes at this point. And like it's already starting to take its toll on each and every one of you. Like the thoughts start to begin to creep in that you just need to get out of here as fast as possible.
Yeah, going with the current.
Yeah.
Is that what we're all agreeing on? Or going with it?
Yep.
That might be
let's
the
do that.
fastest way out, I'm afraid.
Okay. So you begin to swim, and Jalen, you're doing this half blind as it's just like your eyes. There's just something about your eyes that are just bothering you like crazy. But you do continuously follow the voices of Theodric and Feanor, going with the current as you begin to swim as fast as possible. I'm going to have you make not an acrobatics, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw as you begin to swim with the current. To also determine how quickly you get out of here.
You guys,
Can we assist her at all? Because if
you
we're
guys
like
will
aware of
be doing
the fact that she
with
kind of can't
advantage.
see.
If you assist her, your check is going to be made at disadvantage.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do it. Feanor's gonna try and do it.
Okay.
Oh, and she's gone.
Theodric, what was your dexterity
Oh,
saving throw?
I got a 20.
Oh,
Not a nat 20.
freaking nice.
So-
A dirty 20.
It was what roll was it? Sorry,
Dexterity
Dex
saving throw.
save.
dexterity save. Oh, so it's just a normal dex save
Mhm.
for me. Okay, I only got a 7.
Okay.
Um,
And then Jalen
Jalen
gets
returns,
advantage
she'll
when she
get a-
returns.
yeah, she'll get a second.
Jalen's been overcome with the poo, is all I have to say.
Yeah. And
He's
all
been
shall
swept
fade in the
under.
poo. all of a sudden, all shall fade, and you could just see Denethor just chomping on a piece of poop.
Oh no!
Squishes out between his teeth.
Oh no! No, unsubscribe. I'm not doing that. Unfollow.
The age of the elf is over. It is now the age of the poo.
Oh, no,
It is
look,
now
Alfie
the age of
dropped
shadow
so nice.
immediately. Oh, it's so bad.
Sauron grows stronger.
That's how we beat Sauron. We just fling poo at his eye.
Oh man.
What are we, monkeys? Oh
He
my
can- he
lord.
can stuff
You
up
missed.
like
You
Jalen's
missed
gonna
some
have.
shenanigans.
Oh my
Jalen
god,
gets to
sounds
roll
like
with
it.
advantage. 'cause
Okay.
I
Yes.
basically-
Dexterity saving throw with advantage, Jalen.
Aw, thank you. Okay, so that was that. And that was. Oh, with advantage, it's nothing.
Okay, I'm really glad that I did that for you then. But
So-
yeah, so
Hitting it today. Yeah,
Raynor only
thank
got a 7
you.
because of that.
Okay. So you're able to swim, and
Yeah.
you're essentially kind of like half swimming on top of Feanor, as Feanor nearly ducks below a couple of times, nearly taking in a mouthful. Actually, at one time he does, just a little bit comes into his mouth, and it's foul, it's disgusting. As you begin to make through and you begin swimming with the current, it rapidly starts to, and you could tell you are on a slope at this point. It starts to speed up. And within about 5 minutes, you can actually see and smell fresh air. Like, it's crazy how you can smell fresh air as you begin to approach it. I'm going to have each one of you make a wisdom saving throw for one more time as you begin to swim through this.
I'm glad Valneth didn't go down there.
I got a 16.
Okay.
A 20.
Let me know if you need it. I got one.
I'm gonna use my king's luck again.
How many times can you use that?
Alright,
However many for 2 days.
I can
you
use
However
it
much for 2 days.
2
have to
days,
take
yep.
a second roll. Is that-
Yeah, you have to take the
Right?
second roll.
Yeah. It's okay. I got a 4.
4.
But the other one was a 7, so it's not really that much.
Jalen, you gain another point of shadow as you fall out into what looks to be a harbor. You have made your way into the quays, and you are now in pure, well, relatively pure, fresh water. And you pop your head off, and the nice thing is that your little swim cleanses you a little bit. As you pop your heads up, you can see the night sky. It is bitter cold. Bitter cold. The one nice thing about being back in the sewers is it was quite warm, but now it is bitter cold.
Stop trying to put a good spin on the sewers. It's not happening. It was
as we're all
nice
in the
and
water,
warm and
as we're all
squishy.
treading water, it's like we never tell Valineth what we just did. I don't know if he can handle it.
Oh, he'll smell it. Oh, he'll smell it. I'm sure.
Huzzah.
By the way, in Valneth, can we go back to Valneth? He quickly follows them down into the sewers. 'Cause that's what
One
he's
second.
planning on doing.
Yeah, yes, 1 second. And as you look up to the sky, you can see the lonely mountain, and the current is beginning to pick up. You hear a bunch of merchants that are kind of on the docks of the quay. As you begin making your way southward, carried by the current, as you swim towards the shore, you look up and you look around. You do not see any traces of Feanor at all, and unfortunately, you have lost him. Valineth.
Yeah, Valneth, I guess maybe after like 15, 20 minutes after explaining all the shenanigans to the group of young bandits.
Yeah, and at this point, everybody has already made their way to the quays, and so like you've made your way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
And yeah. So basically, he goes down into the little area, and he sees that, and he's like, "May the Valar be at their backs," and he climbs back up.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'll meet them, I'm sure, at some
Yeah,
point.
you see
but I
a
think
number of splashes, actually. You can tell that it's very obvious at this point with 3 people. Jalen had a very nice, graceful dive in, but with Theodric and Feanor, there has been
Cannonball.
splashing. People have been swimming in here.
Been in the shathole. I understand. And yeah, Valneth is just like, oh, despicable. May the Valar be at their backs. And he comes back up. And then he relays the information to the others, and he's just like, all is lost. The best we can do is just go back to the guards, and I guess that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna head towards the guard house and explain the situation.
Are you going with all of them?
All of them, if I can.
Okay. I'm gonna have
not
you.
leaving them behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Let-
have you make a
let them lose.
persuasion check
He's
in
so
order to
bad.
get this to happen. They seem on the fence at best about
And
this.
what he says is, well, this is where I'm going. You don't have to come into the guard stand with me. However, I don't want you all to be around with your boss potentially still on the loose. If that makes sense.
Okay.
And so that's what he's gonna say. To persuade. Oh gosh, he's so bad at persuasion. Okay. May the Valar be at my back.
You have your inspiration still
I
there.
have inspiration. I think I used it.
No. No,
Yeah.
you don't. Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Persuasion. Oh, sorry. Persuasion. Okay, come on. It's a 7.
7. They tentatively talk to each other. And essentially, you hear a bunch of complaints about, like, I don't understand. I know we've done something wrong, meaning they're just going to put us in prison for life. We've been saved one way, but we're just going to be in prison for another.
And Valneth hears this, and he's just like, "Not if I have anything to say about it, young ones."
And what do you, and actually, Arn, he looks at you. And what do you have to say? What hold do you have on this city? You're an elf. You have no say here in the city of Dale.
That may be true in theory. However, I have my ways. And then
That's not very convincing with that 7.
it's not very convincing, but you'll just have to trust me. Do you believe I healed your friend here? Look at him. He looks great. Olaf, how are you doing, buddy? And Olaf is literally as good as new.
Yeah,
And
he's
I'm
pretty
like,
good.
You're gonna have to trust me on this one. You don't have to come in with me. You can hide. I'm just gonna say that we know the leader of the group, who's made for you and me, Nickeymouse, and then that's what he's gonna say.
Brindle, she steps forward and she looks at all of them and says, Friends, do you not realize what has happened? This is the first time in 4 years that we have had not had to wake up with one of those 3 staring over us. Do you not understand what they have done for us? And then she kind of just like waits for a second. She looks at Arn and says, How long have we known each other, Arn? Yeah, we've known each other since we were wee ones. All the way since nursing school. And you, he turns over to Vidar, who is kind of like standing like this, like up against like the wall. And you, we met you when you came here, but you were nothing more than a stable owner's lackey, shoveling crap for a living. Here we've lived, but it has not been life. Tell me, even if you were to go back to your life like that, how much better is it knowing that you're not going to wake up one day and if you don't bring back a haul big enough, you're going to get beaten near lifeless? And then she looks over to Olaf and says, Olaf, this elf has saved your life. Valineth has saved your life. This is your chance to make something of yourself. This is a chance for all of us to make something of ourselves. And she gets a little bit choked up and emotional. And for a second, she looks at Gunnar and says, And Gunnar, now's your chance to leave the city. Go find your sister. I know you've been saving money in order to go on an adventure to try to find her, but now's your chance. How much have you been able to save up? And Gunnar, he says, not as much as I like. Find jobs on the road. Do what you will. But we're free from them. We're free from them. And if I've learned one thing from meeting you, there are people in this world that we can trust. It's not the whole world against us anymore. There are those who are willing to fight for us. Are we willing to comply and fight for them? We've done bad things, and we have to face up to them. Maybe mercy will shine its face through us, but if not, at least we don't have to wake up in fear anymore. Valineth.
Valineth is just, as this is going on, he is just being her hype man behind her back. And just being like, oh yes, wise words for such a young one. Where'd you learn to talk like that? And he's like, maybe you should be under the tutelage of our good old Jalen. You seem to have the silver tongue like she does. And he's just enamored by
Silver tongue. She kind of scoffs and spits on the ground. Silver tongue. I just speak truth.
And it's good truth. I like it. You convinced me. Off we go. He just starts walking.
She speaks nothing but the true truth.
And actually, without too much time as you make your way through Broken Stone, fortunately, you know your way around here pretty well, and so do they. You actually do run into the guards. The guards have come, and they've basically surrounded Broken Stone at every exit, trying to catch anyone who could potentially escape this. And all of the kids are kids, young adults. They're all taken into the custody of the guards, and one of them comes up and says to you, well, yet another victory for you. You have made quite a name for yourselves here. Where are your companions? And then he thinks for a moment.
This is a guard.
This is a guard, yes. Then he thinks for a moment. Wait, don't tell me.
And Valineth speaks up. He's like, "Oh, have faith. I don't know exactly where they are right now, but knowing my companions, I know that they'll be fine. They can hold their own. I will say though, have mercy and have faith in these young ones here." And he gestures to the rest of them. They were only doing what they were doing out of fear of the one who was truly in control, and that's the one that all my companions were chasing. What's his name, by the way? I forget.
Oh man, I forget his name too.
Phenom.
Yeah, I know. Phenar.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guard. Do you remember the guard's name?
No.
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
hang on, I have it written down.
Perfect.
Thanks, Jalen.
Yeah.
I was literally just watching it this morning.
What?
But Phenar is the leader. Maybe you know of him. I heard he was part of the guard, or maybe one of Lake Town.
He was one of the old masters.
One of the old leaders of Lake Town.
Oh, Rodri. That's right.
Rodri.
Yep.
Rodri.
Hey, I love it. Thank you.
Rodri, my good sir.
I just listened to it before then I ate dinner, and I forgot to write it down, so that happens. Rodri, yes. This is Rodri. And he says, well, if this is true, the cowards might have made their way back to Esgaroth. They're not welcome there, they're not welcome here in Dale. It won't be long before they make trails. My hunch is that they'll start going west. If you wish to find them, and as he's talking, he actually begins to take off his cloak, and he orders a couple of the other ones and hang it around the children. He says, hey, get these kids some food, fill their bellies, put some clothes on them,
And
clothes
Valineth
that aren't
speaks up-
soaking wet.
And Valineth speaks up and he's like, be kind to them. They're not going to be doing anything. Again, they were just doing what they were doing out of fear and in being able to survive. They meant nothing by it, and you have my word. They're not going to do anything. In the word of the people of Rivendell, that they're not going to do anything that will go against the city. in the guard. So treat them well, and I know they'll treat you well. And Valinith looks at them. Right? Is that right?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh Lord, God, why can't Jalen be here to do all this? This is horrible.
Trust me, Jalen also wishes she was here doing this.
I know. It's fine. That's good though. 18.
18. You have my word that we will take good care of them. If it is their will to do so, they can leave this city, and we will clear their name and pardon them of all the crimes that they've done. If they choose to remain here, and he looks at all of them, they will be reintegrated into the society. We will help them find jobs, and we will help them find housing.
And Valna smiles and he looks at them. He's like, well, isn't that just lovely? Huzzah! And he's happy.
But that isn't to say, and he turns to them, that isn't to say that the things that they have done haven't caused others suffering. You have hurt the name and you have hurt the pride of those in Dale. I don't know what you've been through in the past. I don't know what you've experienced. But it seems like you need a firm hand and a caring hand to guide you. I believe I know just the person that can do such a thing. If you will follow me, a warm meal awaits you, all of you. And you will not be seeing this place again. You won't need to see this place again. And he turns to you. Thank you, Sir Valinith. If there's anything that we can do to be of further assistance to you during your stay here in Dale, just let us know. But if not, and you want to chase down these scum to keep them from returning, turn to Esgaroth. Do not delay, for they might be gone and push further. Who knows what they can do in the rest of Middle-earth. And he begins to walk them away.
And Valineth is just thinking to himself, sitting in the middle of the street with all of his companions down in a stinky, feces-filled sewer and God knows what else. And he's just like, well, I hope they're okay. And he walks back to the tavern and goes to sleep.
Yeah, so you go back. So you guys actually have a place in the White Lane, FYI. So you don't have to go back to the tavern.
Okay.
You can go to the tavern if you want, but you also have a place in White Lane. To be able to...
He's gonna go to the tavern, get a drink or two, and he's gonna go back.
Wow, what a successful night! Guess I'll celebrate! Huzzah!
Feanor, Jalen, and Theodric. So you guys are now in basically this river that's running through. Do you wish to return to Dale, or do you wish to go where the river takes you?
Theodric is just scrubbing himself the best he can.
We're getting out of this
clean
river.
Let's get
Wild.
Yeah, it's
Let's all
it's
get
cold.
to shore and then we'll figure out what we're doing.
To put things in perspective, Jalen got more points of shadow there than she did from Sauron talking to her. So.
Yep. That just shows how traumatized
Sauron didn't take a
job
dump
is.
down at did he?
I will never say a bad word about a plot ever.
Nah, Feanor's gonna just
No
start
way.
like swimming, like he's ducked his head in, rinsed and stuff, but he's swimming towards the shore. He's gonna scrub himself
Yeah,
more there, but
absolutely.
he's heading back to Dale tonight. He's not going out into what I assume is more river and
No
woods
way.
in the middle of winter at the middle
That's
of
a
night.
death trap.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Theodric is
Nothing.
absolutely following him, but the entire time just like, ugh, ugh.
I need a drink.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
absolutely.
get it out of my eyes.
Yeah, and actually, Jalen, as you do so, it stings and it burns, and you actually what you do is you take a flask of this nice clean river water, and as you're walking, you basically pour it into your hands, and you're continuously like just trying to wash out your eyes, and like as you're walking, Feanor and Theodric, you not basically leading the group into the city center. Do you wish to go back to your place immediately? Go anywhere else? What's the plan?
Jalen, you've been around here more. Where's the closest place where there's a strong drink?
That way. But I'm going home because I need to get out of this clothes, man. I'm not happy.
Theodric?
It's okay, Fainal. We have wine at home.
We have
at
wine.
home.
Oh, let's go home. I need to forget this.
We never tell
More shots
Valineth what
on
happened.
me!
We never tell Valineth what happened.
Nothing
We
gets
burn
past
these-
his high elf
You
nose.
burn these clothes. We burn.
No, can Valineth, as he's
Lips sealed. We never
Valineth
discussed
is
this
sleeping,
night.
and I'm assuming they're all coming home back to the rooms and stuff. Can he make a perception? check
Valineth
with
doesn't
his-
actually sleep, FYI.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's an elf.
He just waits.
As he's sitting there pondering out the window, looking, he sees his companions walking down the road. He's like, "Oh, why? They seem mighty wet. I wonder what happened." And he knows deep down, "Oh Lord," because he saw the evidence of the sewer, and he's bracing himself.
Okay. So that you guys all make your way in and you settle down for the night. Valineth, you actually tell them the story of all of the kids. My question to the party is, what is your guys' plan from here on out? So, Valineth, you describe to them the urgency of potentially chasing them to Esgaroth and doing so as soon as possible. But if there are any loose ties that any of you want to tie up before you do make your way to Esgaroth, do so.
Okay.
Just
First
tell
of
me
all,
just tell me the things that you want to do, just FYI.
Daedric would like to just be like, Valineth, I got jabbed by a needle as I was tearing the trap door off its hinges in their hideout. I believe it may have poisoned me. It stings quite a lot. Could you have a look at that?
Of course I can, and I take a look. Do I see what the situation is?
Yeah, actually, this was a thin enough needle that it doesn't necessarily do too much damage to his gloves, as it were, like the tiny needle point. But you take off his glove and you look at like his palm, and you can see that the skin around where it was has started to almost kind of go bluish purple. More so than just your typical bruise, and as it goes out from that bluish purple and like a furthering, it's started to turn kind of greenish. As it's begun, like it hurts. It hurts real bad, like a real bad bruise. But you look at it. I'm gonna have you make a medicine check for me, Valineth.
Valineth says, before he does that, jokingly, he's like, "Oh, looks like a Morgul needle. Looks like we have to chop it off." And he laughs himself.
How do you laugh?
I mean, you know, it's probably infected, so
It's
that
not
might
a good
be-
check, so it's a 9.
Theodric, yeah, you probably would be like, yeah, this thing's definitely infected. And you have no idea what Morgul needle means, so you're just over his head.
It was a 9.
A 9, okay.
He's
bad?
like,
Is it-
am I gonna die?
Am I gonna die?
You take
I think you'll be fine.
You take a look at it and you see that like where kind of the insert, you examine it kind of like this. You touch it and it feels a little bit puffy like around the wound, almost kind of like a bee sting from the looks of it. And you kind of take and you sniff.
Oh, and Valineth is just repulsed. He's just like, "Oh!" Does he take any points of shadow for that? I'm willing to take a point of shadow for that.
No. I'm gonna ask actually, Valineth. Do you want to keep your reaction hidden, or do you
No.
want?
He's not gonna keep his reaction hidden. He's gonna be, "Oh Lord,
Okay, yes, like
Theodric!"
Yes, yes. Let's move past that. Like, just, dude, like, what's wrong with my hand?
Can
Oh,
I
yes,
pour
yes, yes, yes.
alcohol on his hand? Like, look, this should sterilize it. Get rid of the smell. Just pouring like a glass of wine onto his hand.
So
Oh,
FYI,
God,
you guys aren't as stinky as you might think. You've definitely taken some splash in like really like cleanish water. So like you're relatively clean, but yeah, there's still hints. It's not good. Definitely
It's
not
not
good.
I'm getting in whatever bath shower concoction this town has.
Yeah, this
and
place kind of
getting
has like
their
a.
clean, dry clothes.
So there is actually a bathhouse in the White Lane. If you wish to go to there, you can actually have a hot bath for 1 silver piece. Actually, no, not 1 silver piece. 8
Yeah.
copper pieces.
Yeah, that's
I will pay a silver piece to stay extra.
Yeah.
That'll be my tip.
Perfect.
Yeah, if Jalen's going, Fainal's going.
I basically tell. Do I notice anything wrong with
You
this game,
do.
or
So
do I know?
you do look, and you say you kind of examine it, and you've seen poison enough in your time, but from what you can tell, it's not serious. It's not severe. Basically, he just needs to sleep a couple of nights, make sure he gets rest, and it'll eventually subside.
I say, to heal this mortal wound, my good sir, listen carefully. If you don't want to lose your hand, you're gonna have to take it easy for a couple of days. Maybe take a bath. Maybe get some good food in ya.
I mean, I planned on those things, but can we afford to take it easy? We were told, like, if we have to ride after these ruffians quite quickly to catch them.
I mean, you tell me, Theodric. Do you want to have a hand or not?
I mean, of course. I mean, okay.
I think you better take it easy, my good sir.
Essentially, what this means is after 3 short rests, it goes away. So short rests, not long rests.
Okay.
So.
Cool. That's what he says. And he's like, well, now you go take a bath, young one.
Three short rests or 1 long rest, and technically you have unlocked at this point, officially at this point, you have unlocked the city of Dale as a sanctuary for you guys.
Go.
Nice. How much is a long rest again? Isn't it like
8 hours.
8 hours?
8 hours,
Well,
yes.
it's different in
Depends
Adventures
on
in
your
Middle-earth.
Well, no. So a long rest in Adventures of Middle Earth is 8 hours in a sanctuary.
Make sure.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Night.
Well, I am going to go to the bathhouse with the others. How
Mhm.
much did you say it was? 8 silver. 8
8
copper.
copper.
Okay.
And when they leave, Valineth has the room to himself, and he's thinking back to his encounter from the night. And he's thinking about his dance moves, and he's thinking about, oh man, I think I could have done that move a little bit better. And after taking a bath, he's practicing his 2-step.
Oh, nice. I'm going to have you make a acrobatics check for me as you do that. Theodric,
failed last
Jalen, and Feanor, you make your way to the bathhouse, and they give you extra soap. The soap here is actually quite interesting. It seems to be a lot frothier than other places, and you've actually found out that this is elvish soap that they use for special guests. They give it to you without an extra charge. Because they not only know what you have done for the city, but they smell you, and they send you to a Jalen separately from Feanor and Theodric to these like private, like high quality baths. They're not just kind of like your typical lukewarm or even coldish baths. Like they have like pots, like giant boiling pots that basically have a spigot that goes into basically like your own private bath. And so you go there and then you're able to clean up for the night, able to remove all sense of smell, all sense of stink, enjoying yourself for as long as you need to.
That was a
Cedric
13, by the way.
washes his hand carefully.
Yeah.
Just try and just make sure there's no like it's not gonna get worse.
Yeah, it
Big
stings, and actually, as you begin to kind of clean it out and push it a little bit of pus kind of squeezes out of it, just like here and there. It's bad. It's not good. I'm sorry. Not to get too gross and into the detail, but it's
Morgul will do that to you.
not so good. But actually, after a little bit of time and after you've cleaned it, you start to feel a little bit better. But there is something to you that just makes you feel a little extra tired for that. So. Essentially what that means, Theodric, is for this time, I think you're at full HP anyways, is that right?
I was, yes.
Okay, it doesn't matter anyway. I was going to say for your long rest, you basically roll a hit dice and recover that many, and not count the hit dice that you rolled for the short rest, but you're full HP anyway, so you're fine. Valineth, you got your 13. Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
You improved a little bit.
Nice. You know,
Yeah, it's good.
I'm rusty. I've been on the road too long.
You go to bed, and by the time the morning comes, it is a beautiful day, and you can actually tell it is the 1st of March, and spring has begun to sprung. as if almost overnight, you've not seen any more snow. It doesn't look like there's any more snow in the forecast, and there is actually a big melt off that's starting to go as the morning begins to heat up hotter than you've ever imagined that it could be. These are good days smiling upon you as a March 1st comes into play. Everybody, what is the plan of action going forth from here?
Very quickly, Feanor actually wants to try and have a little meeting with King Bard.
Okay.
Also, do we heal, by the way? All of our...
Everything is completely
point
healed.
Of clarification.
Okay, so we had a long rest, yeah?
Yeah, long rest.
We
Yes,
did have a
Jalen.
long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said it.
I said it.
You can't take
Long
it
rest.
back now. We had
Of course.
We had a long rest.
Yes, of course. Long rest.
Oh.
Guys, long rest. Okay, yes, so you want a meeting with King Bard. So you actually, by doing this, you just go in the morning to the palace gates.
In my nicest clothes.
Okay, in your nicest
like my
clothes.
comfy nice clothes, not the ones that Jalen picked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, they're nice, but they're just not very him.
Okay. Here's the thing. Those clothes are actually more comfortable to dance in to just stand around and talking. So, bleh.
Yeah.
True
But,
that.
Yes, basically, Feanor's coming here to talk to King Bard about what he discussed about potentially fighting, like about the whole fight against the shadow, and to try and help all those around. So, he wants to have a little bit of a talk with it.
Okay. I'm going to say that you do that. You go. I'm actually going to talk with you separately about what that conversation entails,
Yes.
Nick,
Okay.
on the side, okay?
Ooh, secrets.
So, cool.
DM secrets.
Cool. Jalen, what do you wish to do this morning as you begin to set off?
Yeah, getting ready to set off. Well, I'll probably walk around the town and say hi to all of our friends that we've met along the way, like Drummer and Grummer. No, not them. Those were Clovis and
Boris.
Boris, I think was the other one.
Clovis and Boris.
Yeah, those two. If they're still in town, swing by Ikari's place, see if he's still hanging in there. And then if I could
you missed someone, by the way, Jalen.
Who lost? I don't know that we've spoken since.
No, it turns out Lockman was up with King Bard, and we had a discussion. And I'm like, oh, we're leaving. What? Yeah, you're never seeing us again.
Yeah, and then Lockman goes, oh, has she asked about me? And then he goes back.
That's actually, I have good news. She sent me here to tell you she's breaking up with you. I'm sorry. No. But,
Wait, I spent this long thinking that we were already broken up?
I'm like, oh, bro, you wasted a chance. I'm sorry, like, you never paid any attention to her, so she just broke things off.
It could have been such a good 2 months.
Oh, that would be bad.
Or I guess 3 months.
Yeah. But no, even
That
after
would be bad.
after he's gone and talked to King Bard, Feanor's probably, going to get all his stuff ready, but also going to be going around to a lot of the places that he was helping feed, like a lot of the people. Where was it? What was that area
The
of
Commons.
city called? Yeah, he's probably going to make his way through the Commons, talking to people. Like little things that he's probably done over the months, like showing different people how to make little traps and stuff to catch like rabbits and stuff in the forest, and like giving like a last big goodbye to everyone.
Absolutely.
And going like, yeah, no, it was lovely getting to know you all. I hope that the housing here gets built quickly. You all seem to be doing well, but hopefully with what I've taught you, you'll be able to at least keep yourselves fed. If you're ever feeling a bit hungry, just go out into the woods.
Perfect.
Remember, travel in pairs. You're much safer when you're with someone else. If anything ever happens, you can go get aid.
And Boris and Clovis, Jalen, they actually live in Dale at the current moment. They're in the Ravens district, which is the northern part of the city. You do go, you say goodbye to them, and you have a kind of a nice heartfelt, kind of touchy-feely goodbye. But if you have anything that you want to be able to discuss or even just stop by and say hi, you know where we will be. And then, yeah, they're very, very happy to see you, to stop by and thanking you for saying goodbye and everything.
Yeah, we'll notice it.
Great. Theodric, where are you going?
Theodric is just doing his double checks on his pack and checking on Barodarok, and just kind of making sure that he is packed and ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick question: how long has it been since our encounter with all of them? Like in this time period?
This is the next day.
Oh, the next day. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is the next day from the previous.
At this point, Theodric has bandaged up his hand, his bad hand.
By the way, guys, the rest that you got last night was the best rest you've had in a very, very, very long time. Maybe it's the fact that you're extra clean. Maybe it's the fact that you feel good knowing that you've done a good thing. There's that too. That's always a nice thing. Yeah, so that's good. So you go ahead and you pack everything up, Theodric, and you're ready to depart Barodarok. You start to lead him through the city towards the market square where you all plan to meet around noon in order to depart southwards towards Esgaroth. Valineth, what are you doing?
Well, before Theodric leaves, he actually wants to talk to him a little bit, and he's just like, he wants to make sure he's like, by the way, I was joking about that nonsense about the Morgul wound. You would know if you had a Morgul wound, trust me. You're fine. You're
I
fine,
still
best friend.
don't know what that is, but
Well,
I'll
you would
take your
know
word
if
for it.
you would know if you had one. But he also wants to talk a little bit about, like, on this journey, we haven't had that much opportunity to really sit down and chat. I mean, you're from Rohan. I've never been down there. I would love to chat to you about your home. I'd love to chat with you about the kinds of people there, and I would definitely love to learn about the places here and there and get some map cartography stuff done. And of course, I would like to be more acquainted with your beautiful beast of burden that you have.
Excellent. Like we can talk on the road if you want. If you still have business to attend to in the city before we leave.
Why, yes, I do. I actually, or Valineth is gonna go with Jalen when she goes and sees off the children. With that, so he'll do that with Jalen when they do it. So no role playing needs to happen there.
Yeah. Actually, I was just gonna have a quick consideration. Is anyone thinking of buying anything, like any
Valineth
armor, shield, stuff like that?
Valineth
Any
was
weapons?
Valineth was gonna quickly check to see if there were any more like herbs, medicine, king's foil, that kind of stuff.
Because there, like, just at a quick thing for the Adventures of Middle Earth. There's like a thing here that I'm looking at, which is like the items sheet that I think a lot of people use, but it's a world envy one. There's a great shield here that gives a +4 to armor.
Yeah, it's thick.
I was wondering if that was something Theodric would use, because it gives you disadvantage on stealth. Because as much as Feanor is also a slayer, he does have a big advantage when it comes to like his +4 with stealth and advantage whenever he's in the forest, stuff like that. So I don't want to encumber him with that, but I thought if Theodric wanted to buff up more, he could.
So yeah, you need basically all you need is a minimum strength of a 13 in order to be able to wear it, be able to wield it. Obviously, you can't use your great spear while you are wielding it. But
maybe
Theodric, because he does fight with a sword, right?
He can fight with a sword.
I have a question for you, Kyle. That I hadn't noticed before, but my Knightly Shield of Dale says 1 charge.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So technically, you haven't unlocked a hidden ability that the shield itself has.
You don't need to tell me anymore. Just tell me it's a hidden ability, and I'll trust you on that.
Perfect.
Because I'm like, that sounds important, but like a great shield with extra AC does also sound nice.
Yes, and then you could hand me the Shield of Dale to hold on to.
You
because I've got a shield that if it gets burnt, it's destroyed.
I believe you unlock, Theodric, the ability to use that when you have King Bard as a patron. And so FYI, each person can only have 1 patron at a given time. So like a noble kind of person or like somewhat of importance within Middle Earth that's around during this time. You could potentially unlock them as patrons, and you get the ability to be able to use certain kinds of blessings and boons and stuff by being around them and things like that. So if you unlock King Bard as a patron, you get the ability to use that as a shield on top of the boons that you get for that. Unfortunately, it's too late to do that now, but FYI for the future.
I'll even go like 50-50 with you for the Great Shield, so if I can use the Shield of Dale. Because you'll get the +4 to AC.
yeah.
What does that make you? Because like I can always just give you back the Shield of Dale at a
An
later
extra
point.
2 to my AC will bring it up to 18.
Gross.
Which is very nice.
Like mine's 17 with like just standard shield.
Yeah.
So like
And-
I could have it, but and like it'd be at like what, a 19,
21, 19.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe it'd be better to try and keep us a bit.
That
more
would
equal.
be, because I'm kind of the sword and board guy, right?
Yeah, I
we can do
dual
that.
wield with my spear.
How
And
much
if I
would
need-
the...
This thing here says 30 silver, but I would ask Kyle how much would you say?
50 silver pieces.
Yeah, okay, I'll go in. I'll give you 25 for 25 in if you do.
Yep. We can do
Yeah.
that.
Cool.
So go ahead and add Great Shield to your.
Dang.
And can you please send me the Shield of Dale thing? Let's get rid of my money.
Right now I have
And quick
6.
question: is there any herbs or anything that Valnith can buy, or nah?
So basically, you got all the herbs from the last
Yeah, the guy.
your
left.
action. So
Yeah.
yeah, Dale's not necessarily known for
their
herbs or anything like that. Although you do know that Esgaroth is. And so if you find yourself in Esgaroth, there's all kinds of trade that can come from there to potentially look into that. So
Oh, by the way, I'm assuming we're all together now. What are we going? Are we going to Asgaroth? I think that's where he would be going, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Well, Valnith,
I'll
we
make
were
my
going
way
to try and find your Vanbrace, weren't we?
Well, that's in Esgaroth, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
So I believe there's nowhere else that we would have rather.
Well, ha ha ha! Sounds like a plan. Let's go, huzzah!
Unless you want to go to my neck of the woods.
Now,
that's
how
ways
would I
away.
go about sending...
you can just
we can do that. We can do that off stream.
Mhm. Yeah, essentially what that would be
Yeah.
is you just remove it from your inventory, and then Feanor can just add it to his inventory. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
Um,
that later, yeah?
sweet.
Yeah,
Do we have enough food?
Maybe. That's actually a
I'm-
good thing to check.
Well, let me check.
We got a man. We got an elf with a net. I think we're good.
Yeah, who has been hunting for a long...
Yeah, but it's whether
No,
we
no,
want
no.
to
True. Yeah.
spend the time.
Well,
Good
if
idea.
how good's that bear meat still? If I dried it all out.
Yeah, it's still good.
Oh, you guys, we're set. I've got like 40 rations of bear meat on me. we're fine.
One ration is the equivalent of 6 copper. So if you can purchase rations up to however you want. But yeah, the bear meat's still good.
Yeah, it's a day's worth of rations. So I got 40 days worth of rations. So
10
10
that's
days
split.
between
Yeah,
us?
10 days between you
I'll
guys.
say 10
Yeah,
days between
sounds
us
good.
of like no need to hunt at all. You know, I think we'll.
Valnith also already has 7 of
Yeah,
those.
and
too.
I've got-
Yeah,
I've
Valnith
got
does
7
too.
So,
rations.
I think we're good. I bought a fair bit of meat, so at the very least it'll
Ooh,
offset if we
forgot to do this.
need to. You know, if we don't catch
Yeah.
anything, we've got backup.
Oh, I love seeing that 18 AC.
Okay. Real quick,
Mm.
can Jalen go back to Brickenstone and try and find the dog?
Absolutely.
The dog. What's his name? Or her name?
I haven't named him yet, but it's
Poach-
gonna be
Poachy.
really cute when I do.
So you
Hutchkin.
go back to Brokenstone, and it's probably reaching late evening by the time you've said your goodbyes to everybody, and you make your way back to the house. It's odd. This place looks completely different during the daytime. I'm going to have you make an investigation check for me as you make your way to this back alley.
Is it good or bad? Is it good
Yes.
or bad? Let me know first. Is it good or bad?
It's 18.
I still have an inspiration to give.
You make your way into this back alley, and you hear a kind of small woofs. And immediately, peering around this corner, you see a dog. And he sees you.
Is it the same dog?
I'm going to have you make an animal handling check for me.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wait. I always forget it's at the top. Okay, that's 16.
16. And he begins kind of slowly, like, making his way up to you and looks you kind of in the eyes and then, like, down at, like, your pockets and just like...
Yeah. I give him a bit of meat and then I, like, pat his head.
All right. Go ahead and remove one ration. You do so, and he sits and he begins chewing. What do you want to name him?
Animal companion unlocked.
Okay. I have a
Of
few
course you do.
options.
Brown dog.
Brown
Okay,
dog.
hang on.
So this actually, this
Is the
dog...
brown, though?
This dog is pretty tall, and I would say it looks kind of similar to a wolfhound. And so it's pretty tall and pretty shaggy. You can tell, like, it's been pretty wet, so very, like, stringy fur. But yeah, pretty large. It's essentially a wolfhound.
So Greg then.
Greg.
I feel it. Give it
No,
the most
it's not a
human
Greg.
name
It's not a
possible.
Greg.
No,
Okay.
I'll
A gray-furred wolfhound.
Hang on. I need to look up what wolf sounds.
You should name him Shaggy, and be like Ruh-roh, Scoob.
No, I was thinking
That's
Rufus.
adorable
Actually.
name.
That's the name.
Rough is.
Yeah.
What's the name? Did you say
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah, that is Rufus.
Rufus.
Rufus. Nice.
Yep. Yep, or Rufy, or Ralph, whatever. Yeah,
Rufus.
that's Rufus.
Because it's a dog.
Yep.
And he kind of sits at your heels and he like nudges your hand to like get it on top of his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Animal companion unlocked
I, like,
for the time
check him
being.
for fleas and stuff.
I'll get you a stat block for Rufus.
Until Rufus and his 2 HP dies. It's good.
Yeah. He's not invincible, FYIs. Yes.
Yeah, he's not. I know. Okay, I'm aware of the risks of having an animal companion, but
You
he's
got
just so
Rufus.
cute.
Good.
Look at his face.
He's pretty cute.
If I've
He's
learned
pretty cute.
anything about Dungeons and Dragons and having any sort of animal companions, they do more benefit than they have negative consequences.
The negative consequence is your heartbreak when they die.
Yeah.
Like having a normal pet.
I don't even
And
know.
extra rations, yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good. Unlock the animal companion. That's great.
Very nice.
Sweet. I'm gonna
Okay, I
say
will pick up
too.
some
You spend 1 silver piece to get the required stuff, such as like a collar, leash, and everything, because you are gonna have to do a decent amount of training in order to get him to be somewhat useful. And so I will say, like right now, the
Yep.
way that he would work in combat, if you do have him in combat, is he works completely on his own initiative, and he will be controlled by me until you are to a point where you can train him, and then he can go on your initiative, which you can choose to have him go before or after you. And does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes
Sweet,
sense.
sweet.
Makes sense.
Cool. Awesome. And so you guys arriving everybody back in the center of town to figure out and make your trek down to Esgaroth. This is going to be the point where your essentially fellowship phase has ended and the adventuring phase has begun. You now, between the 4 of you, get to pick the roles that you want during travel. So you have the guide. The guide uses wisdom and survival for their checks, and they're essentially in charge of all decisions concerning the route, where to rest, and where to resupply. This also includes the initial embarkation roll. So when you guys start, and we're gonna end the session by doing the embarkation roll, which essentially you roll. I think it's a D12 plus half of your wisdom modifier plus something else. I think, yeah, plus half of your wisdom modifier, plus half of your wisdom modifier, and then based on that result, you get a certain roll at a table, and then you start off your adventure with certain boons. And essentially, what what happens is you make all kinds of checks throughout your journey, and by the very end of your journey, you will have an embarkation roll. And based on the results of these various checks from your guide, from your scout, from your hunter, from your lookout, you get a certain bonuses and negative modifiers to that roll. And then basically you go into your next fellowship phase with whatever is the case. So we have the guide, so they're in charge of that. You have the scout. So the guide is the only one where there's only one guide in the party. All the other 3 roles, you can technically have multiple people as part of those roles. But in the case of your party, because you only have 4, each role has to be filled. And so 1 person per role. And so the scout, they're in charge of stealth and investigation. Those are the skill checks that they use. And for the things that they use, they're in charge of setting up camp and opening new trails. And so they can go and like scout to see if there's also like orcs or something in the area or whatever the case. They're basically, you send them out to go investigate things. You have your hunter, which their main skill is survival, and they're in charge of collecting food in the wild. Theodric has already experienced this in Mirkwood, so he knows a little bit of that, but that uses survival as their main skill. And then lookout. And so it's perception. They're in charge of keeping watch, and they gain bonuses when they are the ones that are on watch. FYI. So,
Okay.
Well, we know what Valineth's doing.
Well, Valineth is also good at perception too, so
He's obviously
it's a
big
wisdom
bonus.
skill. 'Cause
What's his
he's
bonus?
literally got a +5 to his modifier
Jesus.
for wisdom.
I've got a +3 to perception, but I also have a +4 to stealth. So for
Okay.
doing camp and stuff.
Okay. I feel like Theodric's, like, survival's kind of my only skill that is applicable here. So I think Theodric's gonna go hunter, if that's cool with everyone. Because, like, he's not great at stealth. He's not all that good at, like, perception.
You should borrow Feanor's net. Maybe
So,
you can get
like,
some lessons from him.
Survival is
Yeah.
kind of all I got here.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's cool. I can
So
smell
Theodric is
rain.
hunter.
You can smell rain.
True.
Yeah, I can predict
Yo,
the weather.
that's
IRL or...
Is your perception or your stealth higher than what I've got? Because I think they're the ones as well.
I've got +3 to perception, but plus
Yeah, I think you got
2
stealth,
Okay,
to
so
stealth.
I'll do the one of setting up camp. So I think that's
The scout.
the scout. Yeah.
I honestly think that's perfect.
And then
If we
Jalen
also-
can be
if we
lookout.
ever go into the woods, me being scout is extra good because I'll have advantage on everything, every stealth check.
Better.
So
Oh yeah, cool.
Sweet.
we don't go through the woods to Esgaroth, do we? It's like pretty close nearby.
Yeah, it's pretty close nearby. And so you guys go ahead, you set up your rolls. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Valineth, you're going to go ahead and make your embarkation roll. So it's a D12. So go ahead and roll that, plus your survival proficiency bonus. So if you have a proficiency bonus for your survival. And then additionally, you're going to add your wisdom bonus. So not half. Oh, half your wisdom bonus rounded down.
Okay.
So I believe that's going to be a 2.
Slow ass roll. Come on. What was that? Okay, that's a 9 plus my survival
Bonus.
Yeah. My survival.
So
which
it's
I think is a 3.
It's only if you have proficiency in it. So it's the proficiency addition. So it's do you have
0
proficiency in it?
I do not.
Okay, so 0, and then that's going to be +2.
+2, so 11.
11. Okay. So your embarkation roll. So, as you begin to depart through the gates of Dale, finally, as spring has begun to approach, you can see down into the valley along where the long lake is, and you can see Mirkwood very far off in the distance. But you see Esgaroth as your eyes set on the city. You embark with light hearts and a sense of hope. You are resolute and determined to cleave your path regardless of the hardships or setbacks. Accordingly, all of you, basically as part of the company, are inspired for the first time you fail a roll during this journey.
Yo.
So it's not inspired that you add to yourself. You can click inspired, but just note that it's the first time you fail a roll you can use it, and then like you can't withhold it. So like I will tell you failed the roll, and then you use it. Then does that make sense?
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. Good weather. I like it. This is a great day to depart on, my companions. Off we go.
Off you go. And so you make your way into essentially the Dalelands, and it's pretty beautiful. The road itself is very well put together and quite easily rideable. Theodric with Barada Rock is there. Jalen is Rufus.
Quick question, Kyle.
Yes.
So I actually do have, I do have perception and wisdom, but my survival, it's a wisdom skill, but it's not checked as proficiency. But my medicine and my perception is checked as.
Not perception, survival.
I know, but like they're all wisdom scores, and I have proficiency in wisdom.
Yeah, no. So basically what ends up happening, the way that proficiency works in D&D is if you have proficiency in a different score, you add your proficiency bonus to that score. And that's based off of things like your race, your background. So even if you have like proficiency in some other wisdom scores, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have proficiency in all the wisdom scores.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so like for example, Jalen has Jack of all trades, which allows her to add half proficiency to all of her scores. Yeah, which is like pretty nice. So that's pretty good. But like for like the medicine and perception, you get those full bonuses. You basically just add your proficiency bonus. And in some cases, if you have double proficiency, double your bonus to that, or half proficiency, that kind of stuff. So.
I'm just wondering.
Sweet, yeah.
I saw they were all wisdom, but
yeah, absolutely.
I have the circle there.
So if you have for example, the ability, at some point, I believe you can gain proficiency for like certain classes if you level up. If you want that bonus to your roll, you can go ahead and add survival as your extra proficiency if you ever run into that when you're leveling up. Sweet. So yeah, you go ahead and you make your way south. It is a very uneventful road, as this is one that is well traveled. You can tell that it's starting to get to the point in the season towards the end of winter, beginning of spring, where there are a number of traders that have started making their way up by road in caravans between Dale and Esgaroth and from beyond. You can see boats, small rafts, all kinds of things going up and down the river to your left. And you make your way down there, and within a day's time, you find yourself in Esgaroth, to which we are going to go ahead and end our session there. Good job, guys.
Freaking huzzah.
Well done. Well done. That was fun.
Yay.
Sorry for the kind of disgusting sewer shenanigans.
We did it to ourselves.
It is a hazard. It is a hazard.
It
No
is.
occupational
I don't
hazard.
know. Ikari and I were having fun singing.
Look,
Okay.
Kyle put a riverload of crap in my road, and I'm like, I'm jumping
I have a
in.
note, guys. Okay, despite everything,
Uh.
right? We rolled one natural one and a total
Yo,
of
let's
8
go.
natural
Hooray.
ones.
I
Bottom
do
of
not
the
look
line.
forward to next session then.
Keep your dander up. Keep,
We'll just be
keep your
switched.
live.
I am keeping a graph of like everything, like all
like it.
all
I
of
like
these
it.
rolls, and it's a bit all over the place at the moment, but I'm
Nice,
excited.
nice, cool.
What are your guys' thoughts on today's session
yeah.
before we conclude?
I think it was pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it, in us trying to not hurt anyone, I think it showed off some of our skills. Like Jalen was able to like talk to people and try and persuade them to do certain things. Valineth was really open and forward and like just trying to help no matter what. I was really proud of Feanor just with 3 people around him, just like, nah,
Oh, yeah.
nah, no
Grapple,
one, no,
grapple,
grapple you, no, come here, I've got him in a headlock, punch another dude, like, no, and I didn't get hit once in that entire conflict.
Mm.
Nice.
Once again,
so, like,
proving that Valineth is the most shankable member of our party.
Yeah, well, thank you very much is all I have to say to that.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it because it was like it was good as a combat because like the idea of it's like if it did come down to fighting, it's just like you just knock them unconscious,
Mm.
you know. But it's like I thought it was interesting. You know, it added another layer to it, having to try and convince them and break their spirits.
I
Well,
don't
yeah, I
think
mean,
any of us
Yeah, that
actually
was really
made
well
an
done,
attack
by the way,
roll aside
Kyle.
from Valineth's
yeah,
arrow
true.
missed.
True.
Like
Yeah.
I think we all just kept doing the like persuasion checks, didn't we?
I like that though. That was kind of cool. I've never done anything like that in D&D or tabletop RPGs
same.
where it's like a combat, like a physical combat. Like you're being attacked, but you're not attacking back. And if anything, you're trying.
Well,
to
so
persuade.
the way the combat is actually written is there's only the option to, like, when they go down to half HP, they run. Essentially, they flee. And so I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense for this case. And so I was trying to think. I was like, all right, we need to figure out a way where you don't necessarily. I mean, you can if you want to fight them and force them to run, but I feel like it makes more sense since you've already kind of had this plan and your goal is to try to bring them to your side. I just felt like it was one of those things, kind of like more of like a death saving throw for them, but it's more like a charisma saving throw for them. But it's like in competition with like the villain that's trying to keep them there. And so like I was really surprised those two natural 20s those were.
It's definitely something I could see coming up again later on if we were ever fighting someone who's like, you know, being manipulated and stuff. Like it wouldn't be bad to see it again. You know, it's like, oh, I have to do this or else they're going to kill my family, and it's like, we'll kill them before they kill your family. Do you believe us?
Yeah, really.
Okay, you guys seem pretty strong. They're keeping my family in that shed over there. And we're like, okay, cool.
That was really well done. Props to you for doing that.
No, props to you guys. Like the fact that that doesn't work with every group. Especially when you give like people like more options, I feel like a lot of the times that can turn into more chaos and just not quite as efficient. But I'm really happy with the way that you guys are able to play those things off and actually to use the role play in all aspects of the game, not just during role play sections of the game. Which is really cool. And so like I'm really happy with this group, and I look forward to this every single week. I know I say it every week, but it's a really good time. And for everybody who does stick around and watches, like I think you guys should be just as entertained as I am here as a lore master. It's a story that is unfolding like before my own eyes. That's what I love to see, especially in this world of Middle Earth. And you know, it's going to probably start pretty soon here to feel more like Middle Earth, but I love how they're the party's able to, you know, make their own impact on this world during this time. So it's cool.
I was glad I was able to trash talk at some children, well, young adults,
Yeah.
but some children, and be like, look, you don't want to do this. Holding a guy against one wall, pinned another dude to another, like you look, guys, like, don't fight us. You're not going to.
Well, and like what Australian was saying, like earlier, it's just like, wow, it's the first time I've ever seen like grappling being used to like efficiency. Yeah. Like it's a very real thing that you can do. So.
Yeah, it's not usually a you can do it in 5e.
I've just never seen it in all my time.
People generally
D&D.
don't.
You know, like, and I loved it. Like the idea of just wait, no, no attacking Jalen. She's already had it rough.
I think maybe I'm a little
doesn't
bit different
work
than
all the time.
I've experienced it in some other campaigns. But look, it was our super buff dwarf grappling our monster with his legs, getting it in a headlock after it. He's standing there and goes, clunk, drags him into a hole, and we're like, oh my god! And he drags himself out with it in a headlock, and we're like, oh! So, like, a very memorable moment of where
absolutely.
it went really well for us.
And there's a reason why it exists. I think it's so easy to just be like, let's not worry about that. And then, like, all the rules exist for a reason. It's just how you guys be able to use them and be able to, you know, make them work in a combat. So, I'm really impressed with like what you guys are able to do up until this point. But I will tell you guys one thing: these combats are pretty good. But I will tell you, going forward, you aren't invincible. Be careful. There's some things that are coming up that, I know you guys roll pretty high. I know some of you have some pretty high AC, but just careful. Careful.
Well, yeah, I mean Valineth and
Jalen, that's true. Jalen and Valineth to hide behind the shield of Theodric with this great shield.
Someone throws a spear, it goes through Jalen and Valineth, and it stops on Theodric's shield. And he's like, yes, I'm very well protected.
Oh, wait. We need a healer. Oh, wait, our healer's dead.
Oh, by the way, FYI, with that great shield, you cannot use it while mounted. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
I kind of assumed.
Yeah. Normal shields you can.
I'm pretty stoked with it anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty big shield. So. Awesome. If there's nothing else to add, any last minute thoughts, we're going to go ahead and end the stream as we jump forward.
Maybe I
Waiting
have
for next
one
week.
or two announcements
Yes.
before we do go. So the week ahead, we have a busy week ahead. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. Japan Standard Time, we will be continuing our playthrough of Breath of the Wild. We're going to be fighting Va Ruta, the Zora domain boss, I guess. We're going to be doing that specific dungeon, which will be awesome. Come join us for that. We do have a Discord. Thank you, Spider, for posting that. Come join the Discord. It's a wonderful, wonderful place for us to all get together and hang out outside of the stream. And we also have a YouTube channel, and all of these get uploaded onto YouTube. So feel free to go there. Last session is up, so feel free to go check that out. Spider always does a great job posting amazing time tags as well that you can like jump to specific moments. So it's awesome.
Except
Try
when
to
we
keep
get
it
deleted and you
entertaining.
can't
True.
do it.
Actually, you know
hard
what it
work,
was?
it's
YouTube finds all of Spider's comments as spam, and I think it's because of all the links that's posted in it. And
Yeah.
so they're actually
It
not.
could also be because I'm the only one commenting.
True. I mean, it does help, guys. I will say it does help the videos quite a bit with the algorithm. The two things they look for when it comes to the algorithm are comments is number one, and then shares is number two. So if you can share and comment to anyone, it could be just be even your family and your friends. Like the shares really do help quite a bit, as well as the comments. So feel free to comment, even if it's something as simple as like a great moment that you saw, or like something.
Put
fun
your own
about Lord of the Rings
timestamp.
that you like. Yeah, put your own timestamp of a moment that you like. But there's lots of things that you can do, so that definitely helps the videos quite a bit if you can do so. But also on Saturday we do have Cold Forge Great Max on. Technically, it's Saturday our time, 10:30 a.m. Japan Standard Time for streaming Cuphead. They're gonna be doing some Cuphead, and then we have Everlast this weekend, which is Kyle's original tabletop RPG. So come and join us for that. It's gonna be great. Session 21.
It's late. Sorry, my Australian and friends on the east side of the world.
Though we did talk
12:30.
we potentially starting.
We might potentially move it. I still have to talk to the rest of the guys to see if they got approval from their significant others. But we might change the time to make it more accessible to everybody else.
Look, I'll still be there at our 2 a.m.
Oh no! Don't do that to yourself. Watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. We upload all of our tabletop RPGs onto YouTube, so if you do happen to miss it, they'll be there. I'm a little bit behind. They're on YouTube. I just haven't made them available yet, partially because I need to get some thumbnails made for them. So they're there. Just gotta wait at the time to do anything, or let alone breathe with my day job. But we have that, and then we have our sponsor. Kyle, do you want to talk about our sponsor really quick before you head out?
Sure. Last week
Quickly.
to get their Sakura box. So do that. Jump on that. They're going to be changing to their matcha box soon after, and starting in May. But essentially, if you do order from them, they're a Japanese sweets company, luxury treats. And they are here based in actually Tokyo, Japan, and they're a family-run business, and they are sponsoring us. So essentially, if you buy a box from them and you get good, delicious snacks from Japan, make sure you mention that Fantasy Forge sent you in the comments, and they will tell us and get back to us, and it helps us out a little bit, which is really cool. Additionally, if you do want, they've done basically a thing with us, which allows us to, once we hit a certain number of referrals, they're going to give away a free omakase box to everybody. And so if you purchase and you want extra kind of tickets towards that raffle, when they do give it away, we'll have a stream where that happens. Make sure you write your name in basically your order, mention that like I am so-and-so on Twitch, and we'll go ahead, they'll give that to us, we'll go ahead and add that to extra. And then once that stream does happen, those who purchase boxes anywhere between $50 to $99, that's going to be one ticket. Anywhere from $100 plus, it's going to be two. And then additionally on top of that, they are going to be giving discounts to those who are referred. So that's really cool. $5 off of your next box. And then if you bet $50 to a $99, if you get a $100 or more box, then you get not only the $5 off your next order, but $10 off an order of $100 or more. So
On your next order. It's not on that order.
Yeah, next order.
On
Of,
your next order.
Yep, of 100.
But
It
that's
is
cool.
frustrating that all of those prices are in USD, not AUSD.
I know. It's
yeah.
a lot more expensive, I will say, Australian dollar price, just with the inflation comparative, although.
Well, yen, I think it's even worse for yen. It's crazy. I think
Yeah.
like it's like 138 like dollar comparatively. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, so there's that. But it's really awesome and free worldwide shipping. So make sure you check them out. They're really cool. Their snacks are delicious, and yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So anything else, bro?
Nope, that's it.
Sweet. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. See you guys tomorrow for some more Breath of the Wild. But until then, we're signing off. May the road go ever on and on. Bye, everybody.
Bye.